Alrighty, we are back in Sunless Sea. So, last stream we had a one-stream captain. We had Madam Sir Helga. This stream we now play as his brother. His brother. Sir Madam Helgan. Very different. Very different. Our last captain died off in an unfortunate accident regarding a very, very ill fish that somehow still managed to murder us dead. But this time we have his wiser, younger? Let's say younger. Wiser, younger brother. Who was also a soldier and who was the rival of our previous captain. So this time we'll be a little better off, hopefully. Okay, we're starting off talking to the Admiral. Because we are the brother of Helga, we are still looking for our father's bones, and we have heard that the captain, or the Admiral, rather, had something to say about that, but we don't have enough Admiralty's favor for it. Let's check our hold here. Yeah, so we've still got the upgraded deck gun. Yeah, deck gun. And we can sell off our old gun, our traditional starting weapon here. Only gets us 10 echoes, but it's still something. Helga died of hubris. Technically, yes. I really thought I could get that stupid fish. I really thought I had him. But apparently I did not. So this time, we're going to go for it. We're going to do him in. Let's get to looking around. So next step is to contact the Admiral. We need some Admiralty's favor to do this. We've got the submariner stuff. We've still not gotten to there. We also have the Labyrinth of Tigers. Looks like they are looking for a harlot fry, or we could buy a specimen from them, but that costs 500 echoes, which we definitely do not have. I also believe, let's see, have we already picked up? Yes, I do believe we have picked up our, let's see here. Yeah, we've picked up a request from the Admiralty to retrieve some strategic information from the Iron and Misery Funging Station, Iron and Misery Company Funging Station. And I do believe, yes, we've picked up the Blemigan Gallivanter as our mascot. So he'll give us a little mirrors and a little bit of pages to add to our collection. We've also got our Shady Cook. Seems like every soldier has a Shady Cook friend whom they promised a job. At least the two of them that we've talked to up to now. We've got the survey office. We've already expounded that. Could get more crew, but since we're starting already at 8, I think we're good. And no new recruits to speak of yet. I do believe, I swear we had a passenger. There's a colonist that wishes to go to Venderbite. Let's see. Yes, the Nomic Gallivant. So he is going to the Cumaean Canal as well as the Iron and Misery co-funging station. So we'll be able to take care of him and the Admiral's request in that second location. So I think we've gotten everything we need. We've got 10 fuel and 5 supply. I think we might pick up some more supply. We'll make it a bit of a longer journey here. Let's say we buy up to like 7. I think 10 fuel should get us around. And we can set off. I think that's everything we had to do in Fallen London. Let's just get right into it. Let's set off. Greetings, Captain. What's up, man? We are on our 3rd captain. Our first captain lived a pretty decent life. went around, found a wife, and had a child with a very, very poor bride, or a very, very poor spy, rather. She was a lovely bride. And then met his fate at the hands of his crew, who went insane by looking into the light too long. And our last captain, Madam Sir Helga, died pretty fast in the hands of a giant fish that we thought we could take on. We almost had him. They had 1 HP left, and they did not end up surviving that. All right, let's dock at the Hunter's Keep again. Hunter's Keep has the sisters. We can go... A certain someone aboard that I've been surviving for a good long time. Interesting. Well, so it's good that you've been around for a while. Let's see, let's go get our port report for the location. Since I have read through this a couple of times, I think I might start skipping through the dialogue, such as there's not too much new for it every time. Got myself a powerhouse of an engine, but reconsidering my lot in life. Yeah, I've heard that the engine upgrades are a bit of a double-edged sword, considering how much fuel they end up taking. Some areas I could have done better instead of exhausting. Yeah, definitely happens. This game is, from what I've experienced of it so far, definitely can go some places. I kind of want to spy on the sisters for a little bit, considering our first captain got to look at the maid being kind of creepy. Yes and no, the fuel consumption is the same per area traveled, you just do it faster. I see. I guess that just makes you more easily conserve terror. Interesting. That I did not realize, but I guess that makes the engines somewhat of a conserving terror via fuel becomes less worthwhile. I see. I guess that makes the engines less of a double-edged sword than I thought it would be. I thought it was a pretty poor trade to get better speed, but for less fuel efficiency. But if they keep the same ratio in terms of distance to fuel used, I think that's all right. I can't see how the terror bonus would be good. But back to our game. Let's spy on this place. I don't think I've ever taken this option first. All right, this place may not be as simple as it seems. Piano music drifts across the terrace. You peer through a half-open French window into a grand parlor, grand in size, a little reduced in style by dust and neglect. A dark-haired, pale-skinned young woman bends earnestly over a piano keyboard. Another fair-haired but unmistakably her sister sprawls on the sofa with a book. The third sits by the fireplace, staring sorrowfully into the embers. Soon she says, and the piano music falters and stops, "We'll go hungry, and then the end will come. For me, but not for you." The pianist raises her eyes from the keyboard. "Hush, if we don't speak of it." She frowns. "Has she seen you at the window? You withdraw." Interesting. We got some fragments of that. I wonder what this is referring to. The house was consumed by fire in that one playthrough that we got further in. I guess they already know of it. We know they're tied to the gods of the Sea, to storm, salt, and stone. What the heck? We'll go chat with them anyway. The maid with smoldering topaz eyes shows you into the parlor where 3 young women await. Topaz is that a green? I think topaz is green. The last time we saw her, she was kind of crazy, and I'm pretty sure she had yellow eyes. So it was described. A visitor, the youngest cries. The next youngest chuckles. The eldest sighs. "Do excuse the indecorum," she says. "Visitors are rare. You are very welcome. I am Cynthia. The noisy one is Phoebe. The cheerful one is Lucy. You're in a good time for lunch. Will you join us?" "Of course I shall." Don't know how much I should say, but it's probably safe to point out this is point out such a basic key area of this game. Yeah, we didn't figure out what had happened last time, but the last time we visited here and something had changed, we had experienced a rather chilling event. We didn't quite meet everyone. These meetings with the sisters are limited in number per captain, then they always end up destroyed. I see. Yeah, right now we've been trying. I keep the policy of keeping spoilers to a minimum, but I'm not against mechanical spoilers. So saying that, like, torpedo nets don't work, for instance. Somebody briefed me on that before. That I'm definitely not against, but I try to keep the story spoilers to a relative minimum. It should be. This is definitely, though, since I've encountered this before. Definitely fine. Let's talk to Cynthia. Actually, she's kind of spooky. Let's talk to Lucy. Well, actually, we don't have much terror either. Perhaps Phoebe. Yes, Phoebe. Again, I don't mean to spoil much, but this area is very close to the base and just kind of a helper zone. Yeah, it's definitely really nice to get free supplies, like so. Phoebe has a story to tell of two lovers parted by water, of a raven that carried messages, of a fragment of the moon. She beats time on the table as she speaks, as if to a song only she can hear. The effect is hypnotic. Your attention drifts out through the skylight of the dining room to the false stars glittering in the roof of the cavern. You drift like a puffball spore. The Untersee shimmers below. Islands lie like mineral specimens on black velvet. Ships bob like wood chips between the islands. Vast spined things pulse in the depths. There's a scent like the scent before a storm. The storm came, says Phoebe quietly. Everything changed. Somewhere in there you finish the last course. The scowling maid reluctantly serves cheese and Bath Oliver biscuits. That being said, I might avoid them for when I need it more with my next captain. Interesting. So this actually the number of meetings carries over. That I had not realized. I thought everything about that encounter was separate, considering the house came back after our captain died and we started up with a new captain. Interesting. No, it won't carry. Oh, okay, I see. Just leaving it for later with the captain, just for when you need supplies for cheap, something like that. I do assume I will retire. I'm increasingly determining that I should plan for that kind of lifestyle as well. I should really just plan for a possible immediate death or retirement as soon as possible, because I had the ability with that first captain that survived a long time to leave a will, and I had a child too, so it would have made sense to leave the will, but I just didn't, because I didn't think I had anything I could pass down. I didn't think I had any heirlooms that were important that I could pass down, and so I just never did, and I kind of lost everything that way. But let's set off. We're going up to Venderbite to drop off, I believe, a tomb colonist that we have in our possession. I'm kind of planning how exactly to retire because I want to refresh my map to try more things. Very good method to leave inheritance for a start is a weapon if you manage to upgrade it. Yeah, that's what I've chosen for the past 2 times. Uh-oh. Has he seen me? Yes, he has. Okay, I can take him down though. Haha. Can't get me like that, son. Gotcha. Let's go grab what she's got on her. A cask of mushroom wine. Lovely. You can sink 900 echoes into a weapon if you think it's worth it. Then you take the rival inheritance. Yeah, that's what I've done with the last 2 captains. I guess the only 2 captains that I've had post my first captain. I think though that I'd want to change out the inheritances for later captains. So I don't want to just go for the iron kind of playthroughs. But I suppose if you set up a will, I believe you get more than one option there. So maybe that's something that I should do. Or actually, no, that is definitely something that I should do. Okay, we found Carissa's point. We've got our something awaits us. Still don't know what St. Erasmus is. It's been mentioned a few times, just in these logs and various other places, but I'm not quite sure. Well, once you have 1,800 echoes, 50% echo inheritance will always be worth more. Side stats. Interesting. Alrighty, we have docked in Venderbite. You've brought this decaying emigrant north. Now what? One last fight. Your passenger has been drinking. Ahoy, she chortles. Defend yourself. She launches a tipsy assault. Your crew hang back, chuckling. Thanks, crew. Well, let's go have them a little bit of combat. Tomb colonists have a lifetime of bitter experience. Some of them are the deadliest combatants under the earth. Possibly this one is, when she hasn't drunk quite so much rum. You'll never know. She salutes you, laughing, after you disarm her. Good fight, she opines. Then she staggers backwards and falls over the side. You never do find what happened to her, but at least you have her rather magnificent cavalry saber and her belongings. Okay. Well, she gave us some more supplies. And she gave us an artifact, which is her saber. Never get so drunk that you fall off the docks, especially when you're, I guess, made of, like, steel or something and just sink to the bottom of the... You don't quite float. You'd think somebody wrapped in a bunch of bandages would float a little better, but I guess not. And hey, we gained a little iron from that as well. Well, we gave it a try. We tried to deliver her. Okay. Well, oh, these are both submarine things. Assist a specialized collector and a weak call for help. Not at the moment. We don't have enough terror to get a dusty glass of wine. I don't think we would anyway. We could visit the first curator, grab the colors quest again. We haven't found even a single color, but somebody did inform me previously that we just got to bring random items to him and see if they fit his colors sort of thing. But he's also kind of close to death at any one time. I'm concerned about visiting him too much because I'm just afraid I'm gonna stumble into his office one day and he's just gonna be dead. I'll have outlasted the quest. But we'll go grab the port report, and we'll go talk to him to grab that quest anyway. No more light, the obsequious steward cautions you. The curator is terribly afraid of moths. He opens the door, and you step into near darkness. A pair of luminous lamplighter bees buzz in a latticed ivory tube. There is no other source of light. A bandaged shape no larger than a child lies crumpled on a couch. It lifts its head with obvious effort. It takes several seconds for you to distinguish its voice from the soft buzz of the bees. Listen to a whispered request. Z Captain Silkskin, not much left of me. I will go into the Grand Sanatorium. Bring me colors, 7 colors. Pay well. 7 colors. Cosmogon, Irigo, Pelican. Steward has list. Find them here and there across the wide Black Sea. Could mention the color quest is without the DLC too, so at least that narrows it down. Yeah, I do. We picked up the DLC after a few streams when I knew that I'd definitely be interested in looking into all of that stuff. And this was in our first stream yet. Don't have the submariner yet. I haven't found anything new from it other than a few things I can't pursue because I don't have a submarine. I'm assuming that it's sort of a late game expansion where you have some stuff to do. I assume you can buy a submarine and start doing stuff on the sea floor. Or I guess the Z floor. Apparently the economy is much easier. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I don't think any of our captains have gone out of the earliest eras. We've kind of been stuck in the early game, but that'll be something that we move on to later. Let's ask about what that Grand Sanatorium thing is, even though we already know. Our character doesn't know, though. Helgan doesn't know anything. One hears the name whispered here and there in the arcades of Venderbite. A long, low chuckling. Oh, Silkskin, you don't want to know. The chuckling becomes a cough. We don't die here below, not unless we go to Z. So we needed something else, somewhere to end. It seems more to me like an early mid-game thing to just boost everything with more events and density of story. Oh, okay. Maybe there are some quests and conversations that I can have that I haven't realized have been part of the Submariner DLC. Much easier economy for sure. I am super happy with an easy economy because it's not been great. I haven't gotten to the most expensive thing I've gotten so far is a better deck gun. And so I would be happy with an economy. I think the thing I will go to expand more quickly is my ship. I think I want to upgrade my ship because this only has 75, and I was doing a little background research, and apparently the other ships are just way better. Also, what I mean is early middle game is farther than you might expect. Late game is very far away. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, hopefully I'll get a captain to stick around for a while. But anyway, let's go accept this commission. Thank you. This poor flesh thirsts for colors. No more words. It collapses, rustling back onto the couch. Even the effort of speaking seems to have diminished it a little. The audience is over. As the door opens, it shrinks from the finger of light that reaches across the floor. Outside, the obsequious steward nods. The book? Yes, the book. He hands you a slim, illustrated volume. The curator is old as dust. We will all be grateful if you do it this one last favor. Now we've got that quest. Couple inheritances away, you think? Okay. Maybe I'm underestimating how big this game is. We got about halfway out. The last for the captain that we'd spent the most time with. But perhaps there are quest lines that we need to either fight bigger monsters for or collect more items, maybe more echoes for. I like my starter ship the most. Is very difficult to take on higher weight and crew burden. That's what I was thinking, but considering we died last time to what I thought was going to be a difficult but doable battle, I kind of want the betterment of a reinforced hull, especially considering we already have a better gun on the ship. We've already upgraded that gun because of our inheritance. Let's go explore Venderbite, since we've got that. Something awaits us anyway. Here they favor candlelight over gaslight. The shadows are swagged like cobwebs. The tomb colonists stand still enough to be mistaken for sculpture until they laugh or cough. One building in 3 seems abandoned. A raggedy fellow. Sir, I'm a good seaman. I'm yours if you'll have me. Will you have me? I'm hungry. I'll work hard. He seems likely enough if a little ragged and sorrowful. He'll bring us up to 9 out of 10 crewmen, which will eat through our supplies real quickly. But I kind of feel bad for... I do have a tendency to pick up what I think are objectively poorer options because I do feel bad for the characters, so I think I will take him. Taking a chance. You won't be sorry. I'll work double watches. Ask anyone else. They'll tell you I have a good name. Yes, yes. Eventually you'll get him to stop talking. His enthusiasm is promising, if a little pitiable. There may be further effects from this decision. Interesting. Yeah, I have maybe 5% of the map unexplored, maybe less, but I still have a ways to go for economy. An uncountable laps done so far. Now I'm starting to document some trades I can do, but again, some areas I maybe did not need to exhaust, I have exhausted. And some things can only be gained upon game-ending events. There's so much to be had. Yeah, I'm getting that sort of thing. I guess we'll require multiple generations of captains before we'll get anywhere significant. I just hope that the early game is shortened a little bit. Maybe I'll learn some tips and tricks to get it to go by a little more quickly. Because I think it's much more interesting when you've got quite a bit of the map explored. You've got some quests to be done, stuff like that. Oh, there's actually more to this. A skilled crewman. This is the zailor who came begging to you for a berth. He's done good work, this one, but he's keeping a little salt to shrine to the salt. The nameless god of the horizon at the back of the hold. So we can either permit it. Out here, a captain needs all the help he can get, even from sad, strange gods of farewells, or forbid it. You'll have none of this nonsense aboard your ship. If salt even exists, its attention is dangerous. I've still got that soft spot from Salt, where he saved our supplyless, fuelless ship for the first captain. So I will permit it. Maybe this is the poor option, but hey, what the heck? We can do a coin flip on it. A breath of air. You let him keep his salt circle and his chalked arrow. That night, as you stand on the foredeck, a soft breeze comes out of the east, the salt's direction, tussles your hair, passes. A certain matter has become clear. Okay, wow. That's an interesting interaction. So late game is a very extended term, and a Submariner DLC will come into play a bit sooner than you think in the overall scheme of things. Though I have no idea how you get said submarine. Neither do I. I suppose we'll find that together at some point. Maybe, assuming any of my captains get to surviving around that long. I think that's everything here. We could sell our cask of mushroom wine. We do... we did just pick it up for free off of the ship we killed. And we didn't even take any damage for that either. I think I will sell that off just to earn some early echo. And then I think we will just head straight back down. Did we already assemble a port report on this location? I believe we did. Perhaps not. I'm not sure if I can see that anywhere. I'm pretty sure we found a port. We already assembled a port report on this location. But let's head back to Fallen London, having completed our quest here. Tennis shook. I assume a lot of these places are just kind of flavor text for the islands. Because there are a lot of areas that have been named that haven't really told us anything. Like ornaments, Carissa's Point, that sort of stuff. They could just be landmarks. And I have a feeling they are. I'm actually going to turn off our light here to run at a little more efficient fuel levels. Right now I have a non-refundable engine that cost me 5,000 echoes. The rest are refundable for half the cost. Well, at least you've determined that it takes the same amount of fuel per distance location. Or distance ratio, I suppose. Discovering landmarks give you fragments. It's the main purpose of naming other than flavor and navigation. Okay. That's good to know. I hope that we can discover them without our lamp on, because I do... While looking up tips and tricks and what such for this, apparently traveling with your lamp off, as long as you're not too high in terror, is actually a better option considering how much fuel it saves over time. Especially as we are right around Fallen London anyway. Lamp does aid in discovering areas. Okay, well we can flip it on whenever we see something interesting. For the crew, that's totally fine. We'll dock, submit our port reports, buy a little bit more fuel. Maybe actually we'll even skimp on the fuel considering we're heading down to the Iron Republic location. And they have cheap fuel prices. We've got our notebook here with a basic map of the Untersee economy written down. Let's go collect any messages from the harbor master. Somebody new wants to sign on. Free day. Something has changed. Okay. Ah, so she's the surgeon. Mind the situation your ship is in for the color of the terror pips. It'll either be green, yellow, or red. Yeah, the different speeds. I guess the green is technically or inverse speed because you lose terror when it's like that, or you lose at least terror count. Do we talk to the surgeon or the bruiser first? Let's talk to the surgeon. We actually got a few extra supplies. I might consider interviewing some of my crew here. Let's talk to the surgeon, though. 30 echoes to employ her. We don't have a doctor yet, and I think that's probably a good idea. She's staying at a respectable boarding house near the docks and has made it known she is available for work. I specialize in amputations. It's easy to acquire unwanted appendages at sea. Let's go pick her up. Welcome aboard. She comes with a bag full of knives and her own personal sharpening stone. Don't touch these. Don't let anyone else touch them. Excellent. And let's go talk to... Shall we talk to the bruiser? I don't know if he disappears. Let's talk to him regardless. A very fine evening to you, Captain. My, what you might call mentor, is very fond of adventurous Z captains, and he would like to offer you what you might call a dispensation on account of he is so fond of Z captains. Behind the blind bruiser on the dock stands a dray piled high with fuel and supplies. Our previous captain, the sister to Sir Madam Helgan, Madam Sir Helga, previously was a little iffy about it. So she did end up accepting the dispensation, but she had some questions. I think we're gonna make her brother a little bit more on the edge. She was a soldier, but she was also, or he was a soldier, but he was also a little bit of a soldier of fortune. So I think we'll take it. No questions asked. Let's accept the dispensation. A courteous nod. Well, my patron hopes that you find these little gifts to your liking, and he expects that maybe, perhaps someday, you might choose to call on him at the Medusa's head. Should that day come, we will make you very welcome and give you any safe conduct what you might require. Good evening to you. 10 fuel, lovely. 5 supplies, perfect. And a little bit of suspicion. There's 0 point for having lights on in a fog. That I did not know. That's actually good to know. If you're near an external light and land, you'll be in the green terror. If you're by land and an external light, have your lights on, it'll also be in the green terror. If you're near neither and not in fog with your lights on, you'll have yellow terror. Neither with no lights, you'll get red terror. Yeah. That much I do know. I have picked that much up. Okay, we've talked to both of the individuals aboard our... Well, I guess not. The blind bruiser doesn't come aboard our ship, but the supplies sure do, and I'll take those any day. Let's go contact the Admiralty and turn in our port reports. Hunter's Keep. I trust the sisters are keeping well. They're citizens of her enduring majesty, notionally. Grab a little bit of echo and some fuel. Vendor bite. What have the nearly dead been up to then? Not too much. And I don't think we yet have, enough Admiralty's favor to talk to the Admiral about our father yet. But I believe, well, we'll go around here first. Next thing we'll do, I think, is head down to the Cumaean Canal, as well as the Iron Republic. And that's just in order to get... Well, I guess we don't really need fuel anymore, considering how much we just picked up off of the blind bruiser there. We'll head to the Cumaean Canal at least, and I suppose we might as well just check out everything down in that area to expand out our map, grab some fragments. We will dine with the crew this time. We will dine with the crew so we can get some of their secrets out. Or rather, to get some of their backstory out. I didn't do that too much with my first captain, and I did a little bit with my previous captain, but she died fairly quickly. But for now, let's go adventure around London. So we could give our artifact over. And we'd take that secret with us, or cost the secret for the visit to the university. Hire on more crew? Definitely not. We're already quite a ways up in terms of crew size. Let's go check out the Rose Market. It bustles on Roser's Wharf. Perhaps you can find a buyer for some of the curiosities you found at Z. So we've got a jovial contrarian purchasing long boxes. I'll start writing this stuff down. We've got a dauntless temperance campaigner getting some live specimens. We'll start. Rose Market wants long boxes and live specimens, and then just some more people we can get there. I don't think I've gotten any live specimens yet. I'm not sure exactly how to get that, but I think I've come across long boxes in previous playthroughs, so... Oh, right, this is a... I guess this is similar to the Tomb Colonist stuff. Okay, well... New recruit. Right, we can't get the new recruit because we picked up the doctor, or the surgeon, I suppose. Let us go talk to... Well, we can talk to the Blemigan here. We never really conversed with him last time, though that was sort of because I wasn't sure we could. We've also got the Claderi heir. Let's talk to our Blemigan first. Oh, because that doesn't take any food. I thought it would take some supplies. That's nice. It has made its home on a shelf in your cabin. It has built a nest from loose journal pages, the engineer's scarf, and possibly a pilfered map. Entertain your Blemigan. You can see the indentation of a porthole on the rim of its cap. Has it been pressing its face to the windows again? Is it bored? Be bored no longer, my friend. A ticklish thing. The Blemigan flails and squirms as you tickle it. Its high-pitched warble is almost certainly giggling. When you stop to check that you're not actually hurting it, it wraps its tendrils around your fingers and pulls your hand back. Apparently, it's enjoying itself. So we're just giving it a little rub. Giving it a little tickle. That's cute. You can actually read the light of lighthouses for terror purposes. Also, blue ships, I think, help terror, but you have to be really close. Yeah, I assume those would be the same as... lighthouses would be the same as any light source. Not sure about what blue ships are. I don't think I've seen any. Or maybe I have and I just hadn't realized because previous to this, I've been sneaking around a lot of ships. But that is all right. Let's go talk to the Claderi heir as well. We could romance her. But considering we've just met her, I think we'll just have a dinner first. She works with 2 scalpels at a time or with a scalpel and a tined instrument, pinning open the flesh she's working on. Her operations are brisk and yield very little blood. Let's invite her to dine with you. Does she wield a fork the way she wields a surgical instrument? Precise bite sizes. The cooked flesh arrives still in its shell. From the claws, 8 legs, body, and head, she renders a dozen neat bite-sized piles of shredded flesh, sutured with mushroom, or pinned together with a needle of chitin. Chitin? Chitin, I think. Perhaps she has missed a calling as a chef. She denies it. My mother was the child of a surgeon in the first city. You might say that knife work runs in the family. There's a wicked, quirking smile at the corners of her mouth. Then there are the rumors about my father. She would deny there's any truth in those. But we know that she has something about her father. She becomes more talkative when she has something to cut. Perhaps you can get her to say more about her father with a strange catch. I think we had that last time. But not yet this one. So, you know, I actually have no idea how time works across captains here, because our previous captain, or our first captain, saw Hunter's Keep burned down and the sisters disappear and the maid become some sort of strange eldritch being. Well, not eldritch, but a strange being of sorts. But our next captain after that, everything seemed fine. And it seems like time passes, but all our officers end up someplace else. I wonder if there's any sort of temporal relationship between any of them, because we can't pass stuff down. We have a child. They can become scions. We didn't have our child from the first captain become a scion, but the ability to do that indicates that time is passing. I guess it is the Neath, so things are kind of tricksy here, especially considering, there's actual hell down here. There's devilusses and whatever's happening at the Iron Republic. I think, effectively, though, there's not much change in time. Perhaps it's just a perpetual loop. I don't think we should think about it too hard here. We'll not proposition her yet. I think it would be bad form to hire on a surgeon and immediately request her attentions as a captain. I think that would be a little sketchy. Do we have our day? Do we have our free evening still? I don't believe we do. We've got barely any terror. We could read the morning papers, and that'll give us some recent news. I don't think there's anything we can do in London. Yeah, it doesn't look like we can adventure around the city. Oh, no, we can't actually carouse around the dry docks. I don't really want to spend the echo to do that, though. Romance, a child in London is blank. I don't know. I don't really want to have another romance immediately. I suppose we'll be able to deny it if that comes up. Let's go carousing about. A good night out. Sea shanties, good companionship, and the warmth of a pub fire. Okay. Nothing interesting occurred, it looks like. Can we... Let's see, go back here. Can we still read the papers? Amazingly, no. Apparently reading the newspapers takes up an entire free evening. How curious. I'm thinking to break off my relations at sea and try for a child at home, maybe after a couple more loops of the Z. Yeah, we had that happen, and we did have the child and kind of visited him occasionally whenever we returned to Fallen London. But we ended up dying at sea. And our child did not have enough interest in the sea to become our scion to become a next captain, I think. But that's all right. I think that's everything to do here. Let's check our economy, because I was informed that the economies between playthroughs are identical for each location. Is there anything the Humane Canal wants us that we can sell at a profit here? So it looks like... Right, I don't think the Humane Canal sells anything more than fuel and supplies, and those are both very useful things to have. The next thing down there is the Iron Republic. Looks like they buy supplies at 25 echo, so that's actually something very nice. We got a bit of excess. Zoop at 77 echoes. I think that's only a 7% increase from here. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have much that I could sell to them other than supplies. Maybe I'll just pick up a bunch of supplies. Could always use them later. We've got our emergency flare. I still don't know what foxfire candles do. Maybe we'll pick one of those up. Well, no, that'll take up quite a few echoes. Okay, let's just bring ourselves head out and go down to the Iron Republic here to drop off our passenger at one of his locations. Copied a screenshot of my map into GIMP and charting the courses I might want to take and putting notes on places with important reliable trades and events. Only has like 4 things noted, but course plotting is fun. Yeah, I haven't been doing that too much physically, but I have been keeping a sort of mental tally in my head of where I can go between locations. Discovered Bad Stevener's Abyss. Sweet, some fragments there. There's a crab. Wonder if we can sneak up on him and blow him to smithereens. Assuming he stops for us here. There he goes. Oh. Oh, he can see us. Alright, lights on. Oh, a single shot. Nice. And we'll have discovered Guider's Morn, perhaps? Okay, so we could research him. Not sure what that gives, but we could also get supplies from him. Using GIMP for this so I can have temporary layers to draw a route on top of the map. Like that little ship out there by London, it takes recent news and gives -5 terror in 1Z story. News is always from London reading the news. Ah, I see. I think you can get news from other places, though. Because I feel like I've taken a few events to get news that I have received news for. I don't know. We'll see. I think we'll dissect it. What the heck? We're not at a dearth of supplies at the moment. I guess it just gave us fragments, but still, that's something. A crab full of conundrums. You set to work with your knives and acids. It is an undistinguished adolescent specimen, a megalops, of one of the deep Z crab species. But its eyes, normally vestigial in these troglodytic beasts, are large and rather beautiful. The golden glow is almost gone now, those sparks leap and then to your knife. Leap now and then to your knife. Okay. Well, we can stop at Guider's Moor and pick up a port report before they go all spooky on us. Knowledge equates to fragments. No, I've not seen news from anywhere else, only London. Either read the paper in your lodging or go out on the town. Interesting. Maybe I'm thinking of something else then. Quaker's Haven. Once this simple fishing village was part of the London suburbs. Before London fell and the waters rushed in, smoke spirals from cottage chimneys. A lonely hill rises behind the town. A wandering parson. We can get some drinks at the Cock and Magpie. Pick up a Mog. Ooh, it's the cat again. We could pick up the cat. Oh, that would be cute. And we've got the supplies to do it now, too. Chat to the fisherman. Apparently, a low-risk challenge for something awaits you, interestingly. I think I'll pick up the Mog again. We picked up the Mog with our last... with our sister, Madam Sir Helga. So I think we'll do the same with her brother. Meow, meow. A yellow-eyed, mangy, piebald thing winds around your ankles like a manacle chain. You've never seen a cat's mouth open that wide. Presumably, it's hungry. What's that smell? It jumps down from your arms and disappears into the darkness on the darkness of the ship. An hour later, 5 brutally executed rats are found on the foredeck. And now we've got a cat. Yes, I have picked up the kitty. So, let's see. Let's go grab the port report. It's a low-risk challenge. Toasting on the wind, you stand on a cliff top looking over the little village. Smoke from the chimney of the Cock and Magpie drifts straight upwards as you watch the smoke tilts. A sudden wind thins it to a pencil smudge, then nothing. The wind screams unexpectedly like a god cut in half. What a noise. It must be the caves around the island channeling the air. At least that's the most comforting explanation. Below you, the locals each take nips from a shared flask and make a toast towards the mainland. The wind is a southerly. A little bit of terror. Hold on a moment. Did we not get... Okay, interesting. I thought we were going to get a port report from that. Oh, no, this is the port report. I see. Costs an echo, but only one. Chatting to the fisherman is not too expensive. Yes, a mog is definitely a cat. At least as the image seems to show. They sail around the sea, around the island. They mend their nets by the harbor. They see all that happens here, but you'll need a little coin to open their mouths. Little ships and little secrets. Pirates plying the waves, smugglers at their work, connate ships putting in to resupply. Nothing dramatic, but enough to interest the Admiralty. Perfect. Do you spend any time at the Cock and Magpie? No, I think that's to reduce terror, and we don't really need to do that at the moment. We could get supplies for 30 or fuel for 20, neither of which is a particularly good deal. So I think we will set out here. We can't do anything with the Wandering Parson because we don't have a submarine yet. So we'll just set off. Ooh, what is this? I have heard that you can click on ships to see their health. Is this the blue ship you were referring to? Oops, that's not what I wanted to do at all. There we go. Interesting. Where did the ship go? Huh? Okay, that was weird. Spent most of my early days up north. Just now reaching day 200 on this captain. Wow, day 200, that's great. I don't think we've made it nearly that far. Okay, let's make our way over to the Cumane Canal. Ooh, there's a crab here. Let's go blowing him up. Since I've picked up iron for this playthrough, I want to try to go into as much combat as I can here. Or as much reasonable combat. There we go. Because we did pick an unreasonable bit of combat with that last fish that killed our previous captain. Dissect it for knowledge or butcher it for supplies. I'll do the supplies this time. Okay, and it didn't give us an actual supply, it just took away our hunger. Pale and salty meat, the crew will feast. That glowing flesh is unstable, it crisps and withers as the glow fades, so eat while it's fresh. Still a good time. Just keep getting fragments so you can farm stats slowly. Yeah, the stat gain is a little slower than I would have liked. Especially considering you... maybe it's just the speed at which I acquire secrets. Maybe there's a more efficient way to do it. But it seems a little slow to me. Okay, we've reached the Cumane Canal and the Albertine Gates. There's Giannotti Harbor. All right, our friend, I suppose we'll see what his name is. The Gallivant. Something Gallivant. Yes, the Nomic Gallivant, that's the one. Assist the Nomic Gallivant in an enterprise of dubious legality. A riddle, there are 10 individuals in a room, one of whom is an ancient tyrant. How can you distinguish him? Answer, burglarize a private library for a picture of him beforehand? Hey, what the heck? Let's do it. Knowing the enemy. As dinner bells sound throughout the port, you carry a ladder to one of the long-moored, half-legal ship hostels. You prop the ladder to the porthole of what the Gallivant assures you is the cabin of a French diplomat. He ascends swiftly, leaving you to carry the ladder away. Half an hour later, the Gallivant is back on your deck. He polishes his ruby cuffs. I have seen the face of eternity printed in ink. It was a terrible face. Okay. Now knows his target's face. Hold on. What was he in our crew to do? I swear he was just going around to what? Now knows his target's face. On a mission. The board will forever alter. I hadn't realized he was actually searching for somebody. That's interesting. Well, Anything we can do at the Cumaean Canal? Just the normal trades here. None of them particularly interesting to us. We'll gather the port report, I suppose. And listen for surface gossip. Might as well. We've gotten a move in a great game. A sorry end. A card game ends badly when one surface sailor knifes another for all the usual reasons. The other players scrabble for the coins that spill from her pockets, but you snatch up a scrap of paper they overlook. Curious markings, dates, times, code names. Spies work. And we could travel to the surface if we had lots of fuel, but we do not. Let's go. So somebody recently told me, or rather I read somewhere that you can actually, what the heck is assaying do? Is that to toss it? I have no idea what that word means. What is assay? This I've actually got to look up because I don't want to toss anything important. Okay, assay. The testing of a metal or ore to determine its ingredients or quality. That doesn't seem right. To determine the content or quality or attempt. Let's see here. Toss things, you click the red cargo indicator. Yeah, so this thing up there. I guess if that's the only way to toss things, I suppose assaying something isn't all that bad. Cannot be sold on the London markets. Okay, so that just tells us something. Which so far seem to only indicate that we can't sell stuff. Maybe it's to judge prices for? Yeah, there's nothing here that we can particularly assay here. Okay, maybe... No, it's nothing in the journal. These don't have any interactions here. Curious. Okay. Well, we know the ability to assay things. We're still not sure what it tells us. I guess it just tells us if we can sell stuff. But we'll set off to the Iron Republic and grab the port report from that location. Don't really need the fuel from it. I do think we'll actually keep our lantern on since we're heading into areas unknown. Most things aren't salable. Right, it just shows the price of things. Oh, okay, so it just shows the local London prices. I guess we don't really need that considering we have our notebook here. Anything interesting going on down over here? Does not look like it. If you were to unequip your weapon or engines, assay would show you the price at London if you sold it. Interesting. Adam's Doom. Yeah, I recently learned that you can actually interact with items in your hold. Sometimes there are occasionally different drop downs here. So I wanted to just double check that I didn't have anything interesting. But evidently we did not. We've also discovered the Iron Republic and Adam's Doom. And this ship over here. Oops, I guess he's an enemy ship. We found Kugel's Bluff. Oh, is he coming for us? Oh, he's got too much health for us to deal with. Ooh, let's swing around this light beam here. The buoy. And dock in the completely wild Iron Republic. Alrighty. Iron Republic. Factory engines roar like false lions. Blood thunders in the dock pipes. Crimson lightning skitters across the deck, leaps to the rail, and curls there like a cat. The city is reflected in glassy, calm harbor waters. The citizens have the heads of dogs and serpents. Hell has brought freedom to the Iron Republic. Freedom from all laws, even those of nature. Yeah, this is actually hell, as far as I can determine. Lights off will limit your visibility. Also, lights being off saves fuel use in return for potentially building up terror quicker. Yeah, the thing that I'm more concerned about is that I just won't get fragments from discovering new locations, and I just like just discovering locations often about. Sometimes things that I won't think are named locations will occasionally turn out to be. So if I'm traveling through unexplored or semi-explored waters, I generally try to keep my lamp on unless I'm really low on fuel or if I'm just traveling through there to get to someplace else specific. Looks like we can get a Irrepressible Cannoneer. We don't have any gunner officers yet. He only costs 20 echoes. Let's see, we could grab a port report here. Though, naturally, the port report is going to be completely nuts, just like everything else in this location. Gave us a Tale of Terror, a Memory of Distant Shores, and did not change our pages. That has happened before. This place is known for cheap fuel. Yeah, definitely, definitely try to get fuel here. This is a location. Occasionally, if I'm going for a long voyage, I'll stop here and then hit up the Port Carnelian, I think it is, because they have cheaper fuel and supplies respectively than Fallen London. So that's what I was initially attempting to do in one of my runs, and then things ended poorly. Oops. Let's... Could visit the Parliament of Flies. Or no, the Market of Hungers or the Parliament of Flies? Which does this open up? I have no idea. Market of Hungers, with its spires and sigils, is it a parody of the market? Today, flies fill its arcades, buzz. Well, I suppose it doesn't cost us anything here. The cavalry doctrine is open for business. That's something new, I do believe. Can get a dread surmise for searing enigmas. Parabola linen. Let's check the London and Carnelian economies here. See if this parabola linen can be sold for anything interesting. So, Port Carnelian wants mushroom wine, but no parabola linen. And Fallen London does want parabola linen for 60 echo, so I'd only make a 3 echo profit there. Do you imagine trying to use that tiny ship, the one that refunds you 500 echoes? Weight 300 is 3/10 of the normal ship at only 1 hull. Zoom around so fast, but you die to hitting the walls. Yeah. Is that something you pick up here? Is there a shipyard here? Sure, certainly not. I guess that's something if you're really poorly off, if you can't deal with your ship at all. Still, though, if you wanted to get places quickly. Oh, I see. So Market of Hungers, the cavalry doctrine is an actual location we can look up here. Let's see. Do we want to pick up an officer here, or do we want to observe the cavalry doctrine here? I think we'll pick up the officer. I think getting some more stats, especially for something as cheap as 20 echo, is probably a good idea. And plus, it'll open up a few more quest logs. Let's spend the 20 echo to bring him aboard. Sir, are you looking for a gunner? I'm looking for a ship. Here are my references. Here are more references. Here's my design for a whistling shell. Here's my colleague. He'll stay on shore. Here's my hand. Will you take it? That I will. Welcome aboard. Oh, this is interesting. Room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. Wait, let me take notes. Paper. We've got the Irrepressible Cannoneer. So let's drag him to the gunnery station. He'll just give us a flat 6 iron, which is lovely. I think... Oh, and we can bring the Mog over, too. I think that's just about everything we have to do with the Iron Republic. Yeah, since we don't have anything... we don't have any... Something awaits us. We can only get the Artificers project going, and we don't have a forward-mounted slot on the ship. So, I think we'll set out here. We can head out further south. Yeah, sure, what the heck. Let's head out further south. Let's hit up the Grand Geode if it's still there. Ooh. Yeah, so Grand Geode, then... Ooh, that's a dreadnought. The Mercurius Deep. Oh shoot, he's circling on us. So that dreadnought will definitely take us apart. We do not have the firepower to deal with him. We'll kind of skirt the edge here. Okay, I think he's far enough away that this won't give our position away. Ooh, oh, he's looking at us. You see us? Oh, yes, he can. He's a Republican dreadnought. Interesting. I assume that's a further faction here, but I actually haven't come across anything like that. Came on deck to find the metal sharp with sparks. Zonal coronas haunt the ship. This is Dawn's Edge. So I actually don't know what this is. Castle Clare. Let's see. Where are we on the map? Oh, we're actually a ways to the east. We're a little further than I thought we would be. Discovered the Grand Geode. Ah, that's this down here. The place of many shinies. Discovered Zelo Town. Okay, so let's go dock here. Oh, that dreadnought is stuck on the Grand Geode, it looks like. Okay. Let's go check out this location. The creepy place where people are, like, obsessed with something shiny. I think it's the rocks. It's very cultish, if nothing else. Let's compile the port report here. Even though this is a location for the Admiralty, they don't seem to have very good control of it. Does the Admiralty know or want to know? Take discreet notes. The Marines are watching. And we can talk with the friend in charge. Do we want to do that? It puts us in their, like, attention view lines. I think we will, because we don't really have anything else to do here. Let's talk to the Commodore. May be able to give you a few minutes. He's very handsome. His office is lit up by the crystal cliffs. And we've nodded off, losing some terror, gaining a memory of distant shores, and picked up a memoir for a sunstroke, as well as The Light It's Prizzy, Menaces Yearning Burning. Not sure what that one's all about. We could purchase the Element of Dawn, but we don't have any vital intelligence to do it with, nor do we have 50 supplies, my goodness. And we can take the Carnelian Exile, who is a first officer, and we get her for absolutely free. Considering how little I trust this place, it got our first captain killed with the... something went wrong with the light, with the geodes, and increased our crew's terror such that it hit 100 and they just overtook us and killed us off outright. I'll pick up this Carnelian Exile here because she seems like somebody who distrusts this area. Or at least they don't seem to want to deal with her anymore, according to her. Dark-spectacled woman marches up to you in some haste. Sir, take me with you. I'm no longer welcome here, and I will show you where we need to go. Here I am. A ship, I suppose, is always here and never there, because because there becomes here. Got some mirrors and some pages from that. So we're filling up our slots well. Let's see here. All we're missing is a chief engineer. It's totally fine. Have we talked to... Let's see, we could increase our iron with some secrets here. We actually picked up 3 secrets already. I wonder if it shows us the rate at which we convert secrets to... or fragments to secrets anywhere. I think that is pages? Yeah, I wonder what the ratio of that is. Suppose it's nothing we have a very good visual on right now. We'll take out, we'll carry on out of the port right now, trying to avoid the attentions of that frigate. Oh, it found us. I think it's still stuck on the rock, too much to pursue us. Okay, and we're good. So let's throw on our lights and head down to Port Carnelian. Carnelian coast. Far to the south, the Neath roof glimmers above the mountain of light. Discovered Relias Bluff and Port Carnelian. Looks like our fog bank is doing fog bank things. That is the giant fish that killed us outright the last time we were here. So we're not going to tangle with that. We'll just dock over here in Port Carnelian. Oh, this is a new interaction we haven't seen before. Submariner, the fierce philanthropist. Her house is built in the tall porticoed London style. What is this? Red brick and white plaster. Decorative iron railings painted black. His mistress is the subject of intense colonial gossip. Independently wealthy, an industrialist's daughter, a widow, unwelcome in London. What, then, does she want with you? An invitation arrived as soon as you docked. Oh, this will begin the quest which allows you to obtain a submarine. Sure, I'll accept the invitation. Wouldn't hurt to have the backing of a wealthy benefactor indeed. You expected a sizable gathering, but it's just you, her, and a decanter of admirable sherry. She's not a small woman, and comprehensively occupies her armchair. She wears sensible satins and sensible shoes. Her hair is impeccably curled. I've heard a number of shocking things about you, sir, all of which I consider thoroughly promising. Her accent has a hint of Midlands melancholy to it. She must have spent much of her life on the surface. For a time, she asks questions about your travels and listens avidly to your answers. Then she gets down to business. Sherry with the fierce philanthropist. A question, sir. She tops up her sherry. Some years ago, the nations of the Neath struck an agreement to abandon their research into submarine travel and leave the Z depths untouched. The agreement about nothing of consequence. Zailors mutter about it when listing the Admiralty's follies. You nod. She raises her glass to her lips. And what is your opinion of this agreement? She asks. Scoff about it. It's nonsense. No, or should be forbidden to the capable explorer. Or approve of it. It's probably for the best. The Z's surface is bad enough. God knows what unpleasantness lies below. Well, I want a submarine. I want to explore the Untersee's Untersee. Let's go check it out. Plus, I'm a rebel soldier. Remember, I have no particular appliance to the law, as long as I can get away with it. A new friend. Her smile is conspiratorial. Though we can help each other, I am prepared to finance, in large part, improvements to your ship that will make it capable of submarine travel. The Admiralty and other powers disapprove of such innovation. Therefore, we will need to be discreet. I have procured experts, laborers, and a workshop. They are well paid and loyal. Here is the address. Meet us there and we can begin our work. Ooh. Interesting. Okay, so we need 3 Z stories to contribute some nautical know-how. Got to get 75 echoes to get that off. We could do an outlandish artifact here. Increase your experimental modifications by 60. Take some Stygian ivory or extraordinary implication. We need some Zonar schematics, or we could just leave. Interesting. Okay, so the hidden workshop. On the shore of a gloomy inlet stands a rickety factory. Once and supposedly still, it was committed to the cutting and polishing of sapphires. Now it is the place where the fierce philanthropist houses her intrepid staff of engineers, the ingenious men and women who will convert your ship into a submarine. Do I give this outlandish artifact to her? I'm missing a lot of the steps to get it to... Like, I don't have any Zonar. I'm still very early on. Perhaps I will return here later and try to get a little bit more so I could get everything done all at once. But we do now have access to that. That's fantastic. I do want to see what the submariner stuff has in present. Though I kind of suppose that we don't have... Even as far as we've ever gotten, we don't have even half of the map unlocked. That'll be something we adventure for at a different time, though. I don't mind exploring in parallel. We can both explore the surface and the Untersee. The Untersee's Untersee. At the same time. Okay, so Port Carnelian. London's first Untersee colony sweats under a blanket of southern heat. To the right of the dock, the sapphire mines yawn. To the left, the governor's house stands prim as an Elderwick mansion. Behind lies the fungal jungle, ghostly in white and violet. So this is more submarine stuff. We could visit the tea shop, which will reduce terror. We still have very little terror, comparatively. And we have the 3 locations where we can get port reports. Different types of port reports, depending on who we talk to. At standard, I think I will talk to just the average folk. I don't want to talk to the governor here because I don't think he'll give a port report quite as evenly, as fairly as some of the other people. So I'll talk to the tigers here. Talk to a tiger in the Blue Bazaar. The Carnelian coast's padding natives are eloquent, placid, and acerbic most of the time. Trouble abroad. The Blue Bazaar is Port Carnelian's great indoor market. Arched, lofty, plush with patterned carpets where vendors display their wares. Most of all, it's awash with gossip. The tiger is well informed. A black-hulled connate trireme prowled the coast last night. A rifle shot from shore. Shipments from the sapphire mines have slowed. The governor's aide was left-handed on Tuesday and right-handed on Wednesday. I wonder what that last tidbit's about. Do they switch people, or is there something else that that's talking about? Could look for sapphires. Sapphires are always a good price, and we've got a 50-50 chance of them. I don't see anything else here that we could do with our something awaits us, so I think that'll be our option. London's first Untersee colony switched into the blanket of southern heat, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, let's pan for some sapphires here. Glimmer of truth. Braving the jungle's violet spore drifts, you find a narrow stream. You kneel among the red-capped agarics that spot its banks. It doesn't heave with sapphires, as the story promised, but an afternoon's panning yields a pocketful of glittering shards. Succeeded in an iron challenge. Okay, perfect. We got some echo from it. Nothing else to do here. Save. Picking up a sack of dark drop coffee beans. Casket of sapphires here. A mountain sherd. This was struck from the side of the mountain of light, whose the god called stone did as holy, treat it accordingly. Evidently, if we had 200 echoes, we just buy the holy item. I think I will pick up as many supplies as possible, though, because supplies are sold for 2 less here than they are in Fallen London, who we are about to return to at this moment. So we'll pick up, I guess, 3 sets of supplies here. We've got enough fuel to make it back for sure. And it'll be cheaper this way than to buy them at Fallen London. Yeah, I think that's everything we can do here. We found how to convert our ship into a submarine, which is great. Once we get a little bit more, well, stuff in general, we can start to work on that. But otherwise, we are getting set up here. Whoa, what are those? What the heck was that on the right there? I have no idea what that is. How fantastical. Discovered Belton's Vortex and Raynor's Vortex. Okay, we'll have to sail around these. I guess that's the equivalence of a flock of Z-bats. Speaking of Z-bats, I should send out mine to go and survey the area here. No islands. Doesn't seem like it. I'll keep this off, I suppose, unless I see something like this. Anything unique here. Z is warm. Bubbles rise and burst with lazy menace. The fire in the earth is restless. I wonder what that indicates. We've got our something awaits us back. What is this? Can't seem to see its health, which I thought it would give. Oh well. Looks like lava flows of some description. Maybe we're getting around to Mount, what's its name? Mount Palmerston, I think it is. Maybe it's somehow moved down here. Or maybe this is something completely different. I don't know. That could be rewarding. No, it looks like it's just another island. Blood on the wind. Okay, that's concerning. Wow, there's a whole lot of nothing in this area. I suppose we'll head sort of westward along with north here. Creeping tendrils of fungus, Z-weed, unnameable flora. We enter the snares. Oh, Gillyfleur. Well, he knows we're here. Suppose we just keep backing away and firing. Oh, back up, back up, back up. Damn. Oh well. I took a bit of a panic shot here. That'll do us some good. We only lost 8 damage. That's not too terrible. We can eat it here. Our hunger is rather low. Or we can get a port report of a visage. I think since we're heading back to Fallen London at the moment, that is going to be the option we take here. Oh, we got a Z story for it. That's nice. From above, the Gillyfleur's cap does look a little like a woman's face. She dissolves like smeared paint. Okay. Ooh, what's this? Discovered crab cake. Interesting. Wonder what that is. Ooh, it's a giant crab, is what it is. What is this? large area to our right here. Oh, isn't this the... Yes, it's the guinea pig and rat aisle. Yes, let's go talk to our friends at Pigmoat Isle and Saints Haven. So this area is where the guinea pigs reside, and I think this is where the rats are trying to start their new life. So let's go dock up here. On a lonely desert beach, there's no habitation in sight, no market, only an old rotting dock. A stretch of land thickens into damp, black earth from which sprout stunted palms, not quite, tall fungal growths with frond-like caps, as if someone had sculpted the idea of a tree from a mushroom. Let's go disembark here. War. As you step onto the quay, you hear clamor, shouts, and shooting. You can see off in the distance smoke rising from beyond the hill and dots of fire flecking the horizon. Two tiny figures stand a little further down the quay, unmoving as if awaiting your approach. And we get to the tale of Pigmoat Isle. The following is an extract from the popular Diary of a Z Captain from London to Irem and what we did there before we arrived. Washed ashore on Mutton Island and was subsequently serialized in the unexpurgated Gazette. The author's identity remains unknown. The tale of Pigmoat Isle, in which a delegation is made, a choice is presented, war is declared, a most singular treasure is sought by all, and a new empire is founded with tooth and claw. Chapter 1, The Delegation. The figures were rodents. To my left was a Rattus Faber, wearing goggles, a blacksmith's apron, and an assortment of tools. To my right, an unusually large guinea pig, wearing a helmet and breastplate reminiscent of nothing so much as the High Middle Ages. The rat stepped forward first and bowed. Welcome, Captain, to Rat Star Island. I am Edgar, Second Chief Engineer of the 3rd Rat Brigade. I invite you to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice. The rat stepped back at precisely the same moment. What appeared to be the ease of long habit, the guinea pig scuttled forward and made a declamatory chirp. Welcome, Captain, to the Isle of Cavia. I am Lady Augusta Devereux Swinch of the Blackwater Swinches, Seneschal to our King Gracenaw. First of his name, I invite you to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice. The two stood at attention, looking at me expectantly. Well, we'll speak to them both again, but I have a feeling that considering I know the story a little, well, I know this initial choice a little bit, I think I know who I will side with here. I spoke to the chief engineer. His eyes had wave-cold glint to them, and he wore his scars like jewels. A rat in the making. I asked the chief engineer to elaborate. He looked at me for a long, measured moment before speaking gruffly. We came to this island to make a home for ourselves away from London. Its cats and snuffers, its rat-skin suits. We came to live as citizens of our own republic. We came with our tools, our teeth, our clever hands, and we made a beautiful city by the light of the rat star that shone bright and blue on Mount Ararat. The chief engineer nodded toward the distant hill. One day we braved the depths of the chicken woods, and from the top of Mount Ararat we plucked the rat star to be our light, our beacon. But the pigs of Cavie saw the light, and they lusted for it. They sent armies to rule us and steal our star. We will not permit them to take what is ours. We will resist to our last breath. Will you join us in defeating them? Let's go talk to the Seneschal. How did an armored guinea pig manage to look regal? And we get the poetry prose. A night out of habit, the Seneschal cleared her throat with a delicacy to rival the Duchess's own before speaking. Gracenaw the King, our lord and sovereign, a full 7 months has sojourned on the sea, conquered this land and won the southern main. Now no fortress against him shall remain. No city walls be left for him to gain, save the rats that squeak behind mountain. Unlikely was the lamb of our deliverance, assured shall be our glories and their fall, when our lady's eye restored be to our hall. The Seneschal composed herself and added, we saw truth and beauty by the light of our lady's eye on Mount Caveat, but the rats, with their guns, their chatter, and their peasants' politics, stole it from us. We will subjugate them and take it back. They are a rabble, and we will rule them with the steel-shod velvet of our paws. Will you join us? Yeah, no, I've heard more than enough. I think our first captain sided with the rats here, because he was an urchin and he found the idea of a sort of ruling class, which I do believe the guinea pigs sort of fall under, conquering everything to be distasteful. This captain too, Helgan, will also make that choice, but he will make it because he believes in the plucky underdog nature of the conflict here. And he also just he's not much for poetry and properness. He set out to sea to avoid all of the rigmarole that comes with life in fallen London, or so we shall say. We try to broker the peace first. I think eventually I do want them to settle at peace. So let's try to broker the initial peace. Surely their commonalities were more numerous than their differences. Perhaps I could help them get along. My words helped them reach agreement. The chief engineer and the seneschal shared a look, then regarded me with scornful amusement. Yes, smirked the chief engineer, you're obviously much cleverer than us. Oh, much, murmured the seneschal. You clearly know us much better than we know ourselves. Apparently idealism would not help here. Well, we'll settle with the rats. A friend to rats. I extended a finger to the chief engineer, who shook it grimly. The seneschal hissed and chattered her teeth in disgust, but kept her distance. You've made the right choice, said the chief engineer. Let me show you around. Gain some fuel and some supplies. A rat in the making. The chief engineer led me to the northern side of an island. Skirting the chicken woods, we passed through a number of what could only be termed checkpoints as fierce-eyed rats shouldered their derringers and saluted the chief engineer. Soon we came upon a small colony, smaller than some of the infestations I had encountered in London flats. Perhaps only 50 ratus faber altogether, working diligently to fortify their side of the island. The first thing I noticed was a brilliant light beaming out from a stump of chickenwood about 6 feet high. It bathed the whole settlement in a clean blue glow and was almost too bright to look at. By its light, I could see several raised mounds of earth suggesting shallow tunnels. An efficient fishing operation was set up by the water, an albino rat mending nets while others stabbed sharpened sticks into their waves. Further inland was a barracks where a sergeant barked drills at the small squadron of fighters. My arrival drew attention, and several rats paused in their work to look at me curiously. Welcome to Marinia, said the chief engineer, voice warm with pride. It's not much to look at now, but it will be once we've rousted the cavies. Take a stroll around while I summon the war council. Wow, we got really southern for a second there. While I summoned the war council. With that, he vanished into one of the mounds and left me to explore. So I can visit the rat's barracks, I suppose. Take a closer look at the rat star. That's the researcher, I think, there. Head down to the beach to observe the albino rat who is mending a net, or just finish the exploration. But let's take a look around. Since I'm a soldier, I will visit the barracks first and see what's up there. The drill sergeant appeared to be sizing me up. Were a few rats around her really all she had to launch an attack? We were fighting impressive odds. I approached the drill sergeant and went so far as to salute her, which earned me a grunt of satisfaction. The sergeant dismissed her troops and offered me a bit of chickenwood jerky to gnaw on. There's more of us below ground, she explained, but not enough. The cavies are bigger and there's more of them. We're better with weapons, but we haven't got the stuff to make them with. Most of us came here as stowaways and brought nothing but food, tools, and the fur on our backs. We can fish, we can nibble the chicken woods, but we can't make guns out of trees. The cavies came with their own steamer and seem to have endless supplies. We raid them sometimes, but there's so few of us and we can never hold on to territory gained for too long. That's no consequence. All we want is to be left in peace to build our republic. And the rat star, she added thoughtfully after a moment. Of course we want that too. Okay. So they just want to be left in peace, even according to the sergeant there, which makes me, as with my previous playthrough, think that I did choose the right side. Now let's head and look at the rat star they were talking about. An excitable-looking rat was peering at it through smoky goggles, twitching her whiskers and making notes on what appeared to be real paper. Blue as a sapphire, but endlessly more brilliant. That's not a star, of course, not really, but try explaining that to the others. The chief engineer doesn't want me working too hard to convince him, says this is better for morale, but just look at it. Look. She offered me her goggles. I managed to work them over, just enough of one of my eyes to see the truth of what she was studying. It was a scintillic, but unlike any I'd seen before. Blue was a sapphire, but more brilliant. Something about the clarity of its color was tremendously soothing. As the chief science officer tittered with pleasure. No, the chief science officer tittered with pleasure as I handed her goggles back. Those of us who've been to the cavey side of the island and lived to tell of it say that there's plenty of glow around there. Plenty of bright in the water all around, but nothing like this. We took this from the island's center, Mount Ararat. Only it's not a mountain, of course, any more than this is a star. It's hollow. There's sweet water inside and coral crawling up the walls of it. But nothing that glows save this. It's ours now, and no one can take it from us. And finally, let's check in with the rat, humbly mending a net down by the beach. Who ever heard of a rat mending a net? Where the green billows played. An albino rat smiled at me from his mending work, looking dainty and a little shy. Chickenwood floats, especially when it's dried out and sealed, so we're able to paddle out a bit and cast our nets. We've come up with all sorts of things. Blind fish, crabs, sometimes a chunk of broken tentacle. But the fishing would never be so good without the rat star, he beamed. I think it only draws good fish and keeps the scary ones at bay. I do know that chief science officer doesn't believe it, but I do. That light is our livelihood. Alrighty, let's check in with the exploration of the War Council. The bell of the War Council rang. I was summoned. Okay. So, the chief engineer emerged from underground with a motley assortment of other rats. He introduced them as weapons experts, strategists, and field commanders. So you're going to help us beat the cavies, he said, a hard edge to his voice, but how exactly? We could offer strategic assistance. We engineered a distraction that the LBs could use to plunder the cavie ship and turn the side in their favor. What is the LBs? Not sure what that one is. This was the option I took last time when we were a street urchin, so we had better veils then. But it doesn't look like we have nearly enough to get that done as well. But we do have lots of iron. I had determined to take the lead. I had a ship. I had cannons. We would steer her to the southern side of the island and have at those uppity animals. And we have a 100% chance of bombing these poor guinea pigs to submission, if not oblivion. And I think that's the option we'll take here. I do feel kind of bad, though, because I do just want them to be friends, you know? I just want them to settle their differences peacefully. But sometimes you have to nudge an agreement to take place with overwhelming firepower. And as a former soldier, that is the option we are going to take. I had a ship, I had cannons. We would steer her to the southern side of the island and have at those uppity animals. A palpable hit. The rat gave me what information they possessed about the Cavie's settlement, but I still had to improvise a great deal on the spot. A perfect storm of speed, stealth, and strength in arms favored us, our cannons letting fly a volley of shot onto the beach before the Cavies could scramble onto their grounded ship to man its guns. Screams and squeals filled the air. The enemy fled. A damp hush settled over my crew as the smoke cleared to reveal the torn, bloodied bodies of the guinea pigs littering the shore. A grim business, but I had honored my commitment to the rats and found a wealth of scintillic ringing the beach to harvest as spoils. Hold on a second. Did we kill them? Did we kill them all? My goodness. I thought this would just be equivalent to the other one where there would be quite a few injured, but nothing so terrible as this. My goodness. Wow. Okay, I feel kind of bad now. I mean, this was the only real option I had available to me. But wow. Okay. We picked up some scintillic. We got 3 scintillic, and we've picked up a bale of parabola linen. I feel really bad. Cavies have a less bloody option if we side with them. Well, the other option for the rats is also less bloody, but we just didn't have the veils in this playthrough to adequately put it through. We only had like a 1 in 3 chance to do that. Wow, I feel terrible. The house of Cavie had fallen. Murinia was triumphant. All that remained were the celebrations and the continuation of our voyage. Oh, how we feasted long into the night. Then, let's go rescue the Cavies from them, from our bombardment, essentially. They were crushed, defeated, and I could see their spirits broken without the light of the rat star to guide them. They needed an advocate. A grudging concession. I appealed to the chief engineer's moral fortitude and their sense of fair play. Perhaps the KVs suffered the loss of the light from the center of the island. Perhaps they were only trying to get it back, not steal it from the rats. Chief engineer looked troubled at the thought. We only wanted to be left alone, he said. He looked towards the seneschal, haphazardly bandaged among the rat's other prisoners. Perhaps further negotiation is possible. As I left, I saw the albino rat timidly offering a young KV prisoner a piece of fresh fish. Okay, we've brought things back from the brink. Whew. Okay, it did end up with the same sort of the same result, but it was a little more gruesome than I thought it would be. I thought we'd just shell them so that they would take cover. I didn't think we'd actually blow them to smithereens. Wow. Well, we can take that albino rat with us, the mender, the albino tinkerer. Yeah, I think we shall. He seems like an engineer, sort of. Let's invite the Rat's favor to join us. After all, what's a ship without a few rats? The chief engineer couldn't leave his colony, but he relayed my requests to his people. The albino rat I saw mending nets shyly stepped forward. I'm good at fixing things, he said earnestly, and I'd like to see more of the world. I waited for him to gather up some effects and say goodbye to his family before accompanying him on board. Oh. We've actually reduced some civilization. Shoot, I should have remembered this from last time. I knew there was a reason I regretted taking him last time. We should have left him. Blast. That's okay. We'll return here. We'll bring with us some civilization, hopefully. And we'll try to patch him up when we leave. The wide, dark Z beckoned. We'd eaten our fill and our business was concluded. It was time to continue our voyage and see what other wonders and terrors still awaited us. There, you finished your diary entry and the final dregs of the rat's surprisingly good wine. They line up to salute you as you leave the victory banquet, escorting you to your ship through the foundations of their republic, of their new republic. Okay. Well, we picked up some Centillic, 3 of them actually, and I'm pretty sure those are worth a fair amount. And it doesn't look like we have the option to do anything here. I believe, yeah, we can raise Pigmote Isle civilization to get better prices on repairs. At the moment, they are prohibitively expensive. And we've got a fair amount of hull anyway. And we don't have the something awaits us to help resolve their dilemma. So we'll probably head out. The rise of Pigmote Isle. Hail Murinia. Neath's most adorable nation scurries around your legs. Centillic harvesters drag heavy bags of the island's bounties to their silo. Industrious rodents work hard on the towering edifices, some of them almost neck-high. London will never believe a bloody word of this. Yeah, no kidding. Have we comprised a port report for him yet? Where do we see our port reports here? Is it even in this location? I think it may be in the hold. So it is. Well, the Admiralty will make fun of us again, but what the Admiralty doesn't know is that our ship will soon be able to dip under the water like none of theirs can. All right. How far are we from Fallen London? A fair distance. We could just go diagonally across here, or we could head up and sail directly across like so, and I think that might be how we play it. We've got a fair amount of fuel, definitely enough to make it back. I think we'll head out that way. Let's set ourselves to shore, or to sea, rather, to get to our home shores. I do want to see Pigmote Isle sort of develop and grow in their storyline. It was one thing that I was very sad about when my first captain died after he'd interacted with them. Oh, no. 150. No, I won't take him on. I won't risk just in case. Oh, maybe I will take him on. Okay, he has seen me. He has lost me, though. What is this location above us here? Ooh, what on earth are you? Luminescent beasts like eyeless dolphins play in your wake. Oh, I think that was the message for the something awaits us. What is this? Labyrinth of eels. Oh, and a big old shark. Can I see how much health you have? It does not look like it. Alrighty, how close am I to Fallen London? Not close enough, I think. Ah, shoot, we should have double-checked. I'm going to check him out, see. I won't switch him out if I have him. Oh, okay, so apparently he's a mascot. I thought he'd be an engineer for some reason. I guess he's a little small for that. Still, though. We have given him a life at sea. Or at Z, as it were. Ooh, and we're close to the salt lions. We definitely don't have the echo to meet their purchases here. But it'll be good to get... it'll be good to get a port report from them, nonetheless. Yeah, look at them. Hello, salt lions. This is actually a great location for running, what was it, something, Quarterstone? Something like that? Pretty sure it started with a Q. Let's go dock and see what's what here. Oops, not the one I'm looking for. The salt lions, two basalt beasts, cathedral-sized. They frown eternally at each other from across the waves. They frown eternally at each other across the black waves. I think I read that right. My brain's trying to parse this, and it's sort of jumping from east to west here. The north one carries an encampment. Creeping human figures eat away at its features like rot, picking. There's a supply dock below. Ah, Sphinx Stone, that's the one. No idea why I thought that was a Q. But sadly, that costs 200 echoes, so that's quite a bit out of our way so far, or out of our reach so far. We do have the 20 units of spare cargo. We could give a salts right a go. I do believe we already have salts attention, though. We'll compile a port report. And I suppose we can visit the unmakers here. Does this provide us with an extraordinary implication? It looks like it does. Let's see here. Do we have salt's attentions at present? Storm and salt. So yeah, we do. Maybe we require salt's attention to do that. We're not currently defiant against the odds of the Z, and I don't really plan to be. What the heck? Doing ancient rites is more interesting than talking to the ripped miners anyway. Let's go give it a shot. The face of the northern sphinx is all but gone. Lost faces are sacred to salt, they say. You were drawn there. But to what end? Salt's voice is distant but clear. Into the Z. Dive from the sphinx's face, down, in a clean arc into the Z's chilly surface. Float there in the quiet until your lungs are bursting, until light blooms behind your eyes. Rise gasping to the prickle of false stars, the shocked faces of your crew. You've brought something with you. Oh, and that actually used up his attention. And gave us a little bit of terror. But it did give us that extraordinary implication we were interested in. Okay. Well, we know where the salt lions are, so if we need to make some... if we ever get 200 echoes, we can make some cash real fast. And this is actually not too far from the Pigmoat Isle, so we can visit them relatively often. Hey, that's great. Honestly, a route, say... going from Fallen London down to the Iron Republic, picking up some fuel, heading to Pigmoat Isle, to just check in with them and check with the salt lions here and then return is not a bad route. That's pretty good. But for now, let's head just straight back to Fallen London. As terrible as it sounds, I'm kind of dissatisfied with the amount of crew we have. We've got almost a full ship, some of which I've picked up out of pity, which is probably the objectively wrong decision, but you know, it's still nice. And we're eating through our supplies a little faster than I'd like. Not that we're going through them at speed, but we are going through them for sure. Discovered Rowena's rocks and this lighthouse ship. We can go say hello here. Hello, lightship. Its clear, bright beam warms the way. We've got some recent news we can give them. Tea beneath the light. In the bleaching glare of the lens among the smells of oil and metal, you sip tea and chat. The Z's terror recedes. All right, that's another Z story. A little terror gone, and our recent news dispersed. Let's get ourselves home. Alrighty. We are close enough that I can turn off my light here. There's no way I'm going to find something interesting. Though, you know, I've actually never been down this way. I assume there's nothing down that way, but maybe I'll take a quick peek when we next set out. For now, let's go dock and give all the stories, including the one of the Admiralty will never believe about the rats here. Okay, so first thing first, let's turn in all those port reports we picked up. Cumaean Canal. Well, if you've been there, I suppose we may as well hear about it. The fee is nominal, though. I would concur. Pigmode Isle. Yeah, you guys will never believe this, but there was a warring island of guinea pigs and rats, and boy did we settle that. Not certain I heard you correctly. Are you quite certain this is the report you wish to make? So be it. We've gotten our favor, gotten some fuel and some echo there, and an accomplishment. The alcove directly south of London. There is a discovery there. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll have to go check it out then. The Iron Republic report. Excuse me, I need to unlock this, and this, oops, and this. Could you place your report inside? Yes, I imagine someone will read it eventually. There's always someone. Wait, this is blank. Yes, both sides. No, I assure you, no. I know these things happen in the Republic. Consider this an ex gratia payment to cover your costs. So they actually lock all of the Iron Republic port reports in a box. Considering how absurd the location is, I don't exactly think that it's a terrible option for that. Port Carnelian. You know, I sometimes wonder whether that place was a good idea. I didn't say that. I guess there would be a power struggle between what is apparently the original settlement down in the Neath and Fallen London, which is kind of the primary hub of it. That does make a little bit of sense. 30 echo, though, for it. Some fuel, another favor, and an accomplishment. So I don't know what the accomplishments are for. I think I got one for Pigmode Isle as well. Perhaps they're just important story locations? I'll have to look into that more. Maybe it'll be in our hold somewhere. Learn how the Republic works. I'm convinced it's almost the best port in the game for trade. Interesting. Okay. Well, I know that the fuel prices there are excellent. I think they're the best I've ever seen. But perhaps if you're saying that there's something more there, then I'll have to check it out. I suppose our trade path with the Salt Lions will give us something interesting there. accomplishments, just to note that you've done that on that captain. Oh, okay. Okay, this is just a sort of checklist. Let's give some information on the Grand Geode, that location for the Admiralty that they don't seem to have very good knowledge of or are purposefully oblivious of. Yes. Yes, of course, we're generally quite well informed on that topic, but since you're here, perhaps you may as well let us know what your own impressions were. Report submitted. The Admiralty official takes notes scrupulously, but with an expression of mild terror, like a novice vivisector wincing with a scalpel. The rest of the office studiously busy themselves with other tasks. The salt lines. The Bazaar has always taken interest in that place. And Quaker's Haven, the last one. Trying the original rubbery lumps, have we? Alrighty. We've now got enough favors to talk to the Admiralty. There are 4 different shops besides the fire in the belly. The Republic is extremely complicated. Interesting. Okay. Fascinating. Since we've got a good trade route going between their Pigmoat Isle and the Salt Lions, I guess we'll try to investigate that a little more in depth then. But for now, let's talk to our admiral here about our father, since we've got enough favors for him. Do you have an appointment? No appointment, but apparently I'm to show you in anyways. Very well. You're ushered into his office off Mansion's Pyre, a cramped room with a vast desk. He surveys you across that desk. Ah, yes, the merchant captain of whom we hear such complicated things. So, let's go talk to him about our father. Deplorable end. At the Parthenaeum Club, the Admiral dropped hints about your father, about his deplorable end. What does the Admiral know? Yes, there was a certain report. King Eater's castle, the empty temple at the end of the world. Your father went there. No one makes a pilgrimage there if they intend to return. One way or another, no pilgrim returns home. I have heard that they stay. I have also heard that they go on, somewhere even further. It is a regrettable place, Captain, the King Eater's castle, and its pilgrims do regrettable things. If you go, do not take any who are dear to you. King Eater's castle is in the far southeast of the map. Go there if you must. All right, we'll write that down in our quest log here. King Eater's castle in the southeast of the map. We'll also cross off visiting the Cumaean Canal with our Nomic Gallivant, since he's done his job there. So, Father's Bones. And King Eater's castle. In the southeast of the map. So that's a long distance away if he's talking about southeast proper. That'll be something that we get to eventually. All right, let's check out London here. No new recruits. Not that we need any particularly. We could talk to our albino tinkerer here. I wonder if it's better to have a little bit more veils, since we have so much iron already, even without our cat. I suppose keeping a cat and a rat on crew kind of suspect. Let's talk to our Blemigan. We're not doing anything here. Oh no, I see. That'll use up our something awaits us. Okay. Maybe not. We could talk to our other crewmates. We don't have Searing Enigmas, evidently, to talk to our Carnelian Exile, nor do we have Salt Song. Could talk to the cook, I suppose. Why'd you follow me to sea? I have a feeling that you didn't do it because you had a whole bunch of other options. What you want? He might say more, but a coughing fit takes him. Eventually, he straightens up and wipes his mouth slowly with his forearm. What did you want from life? Why did you choose to go to Z? Brr. Frur. He looks you directly in the eyes. Siali. He repeats it more slowly. Sea of lilies. He licks his lips very slowly. Eventually, you have to look away. The Sea of Lilies is somewhere in the east-central Untersee. Okay. Sure, let's go. Let's help him out, too. So, our shady cook. Looking for the Sea of Lilies. In the East Central. It's literally the far corner. It's not a very friendly place. Oh, I assume you're talking about King Eater's castle. Yeah. I have been there once when my captain ran out of fuel very close to a dock. Both fuel and supplies, and we had to do sort of strange rituals. We got teleported there, and we got teleported back, though not without a loss of some personnel. And that was a very lucky roll, and sadly that captain's luck did not keep on to keep him alive. But we now know our Shady Cook's quest. We could talk to the Irrepressible Cannoneer. Looks like we need torpedo components for him. And fuel? I'm sorry? How strange. Okay. I guess we're not going to talk to him. And we still don't have a strange catch with which to discuss the Clattery heir's father with her. And we can't talk to our Mog, sadly. Okay, so let's check out London. They needed long boxes and live specimens before. I don't think we'll rotate any of those out since we haven't found anything to sate them yet. Could hire on more crew, not that I particularly am interested in that. Is this the same captain as the Northern Edge Frostfound voyage? No, this is the captain before that. This is my original captain, having started out. I think it was like the first or second voyage, and we only went as far as the Iron Republic, but I had no frame of reference for how many supplies and fuel we needed. We ended up going out in search of new areas, and I ran out of fuel inches from docking at the salt lines, I believe. Not that the salt lines would have helped me very much. But it was an interesting time, that's for sure. I guess it doesn't look like there's much in the way of adventuring here. For some reason, this is locked off. Do we not have a free evening? I can't believe we don't have something awaits us here. How curious. Well, let's go and I think we'll read the recent new first. Alternate timeline. I think that's sort of how this works. What we've determined so far is that I'm going to say time is sort of cyclical in the Untersee. Everybody exists all at once. And even if you have a scion, as far as I can tell, everything resets. So I'm going to say that in the Untersee, everybody is sort of existing at the same point in time. Even if things would indicate otherwise, which kind of makes sense considering Hell, or rather the Iron Republic, has sort of a warping nature on, well, reality. So we'll just chalk up that our captain is currently out there sailing, performing dark rituals, while getting stuck in the middle of the ocean and teleporting around. Do due to the will of the gods. But. Let us read the morning papers. The Unexpurgated Gazette, the magazine formerly known as the London Magazine, the Spiteful Trumpeter, news. News from abroad. The Khanate is threatening war. They always are. London's colonies are on the Carnelian coast want independence. They always do. The Untersee, the paper's report, has undergone another alteration. Not yet it hasn't, you'd know. Oh, a promotional coupon from Mrs. Plenty's Provisioners for a half cask of salt herring. You could use that. How pleasant. Oh, we gained supplies for that? Okay, cool. I'll take it. Let's see here. I suppose we can visit the university here to use up one of our secrets just to get access for it, which is fine. And that actually gave us pages as well. Sweet. University has an inexhaustible appetite for secrets, Z experiments, and other tidbits of esoteric lore. Provide a secret to prove yourself worthy of entry. Quite impressed. Oh, yes. The university's maritime liaison whispers breathily. Oh, yes. This is quite a tasty one. Let me explain it to you. She, or he, explains, teeth glinting. The alarming scholar. The alarming scholar is mercurial, to say the least. A creature of sudden moves and provoking teeth. Possibly her, is it her, appointment as university maritime liaison was precautionary. To keep his, is it his, razor-sharp enthusiasm from causing too many injuries in this facility. Yeah, in the faculty, rather. I always read that as facility. Yes, the scholar whispers breathily. I have a budget for acquisitions. What have you brought me? Well, we could give him a Memory of Distant Shores, a Z story, our outlandish artifact we picked up, but we want to trade that in for our ship's upgrade. An Extraordinary Implication. Those are worth quite a bit. But I do believe we can turn those into something better. Okay, so I'll double check this. Do you have any further... No, it doesn't look like it does. I swear that these can be done, something can be done with them in our inventory here. Perhaps not. We shall see, I suppose. Okay. I don't think I want to sell anything to her. Blast, but I do want to have something to trade to the salt lions. I want to have at least the 200 echoes for the salt lions. Perhaps I can sell some of that scintillic I picked up. Looks like it sells for 70 each, and I've got 3. Selling 2 will get me over that threshold to get 200 echoes to do the trade with the salt lions. I've got a bale of parabola linen for 60 that I could also trade. You know, something that hasn't popped up to us this time is the oh my goodness, what was his title? The trader, the guy who requests various items. Starts with a V. Oh well. Sadly, we don't have that sort of trade deal going. And we also don't have any, let's see, any reason to keep the bales of parabola linen. So let me double check our oceanside economy here. I have a feeling that Fallen London will be the best option to sell this at. But just in case it's not, we'll look through everything else here. So... looks as though, according to my note here, the parabola linen sells for 60 in Fallen London. We're just going to double check that here. Parabola linen 60. Yep, same thing here. ADA. Not sure what that one's supposed to mean. Looking through for any other places I see parabola linen for sale. Nowhere else, so it looks. Adam's Way is a higher profit for parabola linen. London is easier, though. Yeah, I haven't found Adam's Way yet. Oh, you know what? And considering we need 20 cargo space for the Salt Lions stuff, the Salt Lions Sphinx Stone, I think we'll sell it anyway. Considering I'm pretty sure we got it for free, it's not too terrible of a trade here. And I suppose we'll sell one of the Centillic here. Yes. Well, I feel like Centillic is useful. It's something I've rarely found before. At least for free or from a quest line, if not for sale. Though the more that I look at my my list of sales here, the fewer places I also see Centillic for sale here. In fact, I don't see a single location where I can sell it. How curious. So maybe I'll hold on to that. I think I will be able to move through fuel and supplies fast enough to get to 20 by the time I reach the Salt Lions. I think that's a better option here. Okay. Anything else left in London that I could do, that I should do, rather? Nothing there. Labyrinth of Lions has nothing new for us. Scholar is just looking to purchase that which I do not wish to sell at the moment. I think I'll actually adventure upwards. Go to Vendor Bite to check. Ah, shoot, I should have kept our bales of parabola linen to check against the, what's his name, the first curator. So somebody did mention that some of the colors that he mentions are just random objects that we can come across in our travels. So I guess we'll just check our Centillic against him. Other than that, I don't really want to purchase anything here. Can I make profit on any of the sellable goods over in Vendor Bite that I can get in Fallen London? So they buy casks of mushroom wine for 23 echo. Get 2 echo profit there. Not great. Everything else, recent news, memories of a distant shore, vision of the surface. Yeah, everything else is just about non-cargo items. I guess we'll pick up some casks of mushroom wine. We'll make what profit there is to be made there. What the heck, we'll just pick up as many of them as we can. We can always sell them. There we go. We can always sell them for a profit anyway. So, cool. Let us travel to Vendor Bite and then up beyond to, I believe it's Codex and Wither? I think those are the 2 locations up there. Let's go say hello to them. We could check by the Hunter's Keep, but considering somebody just mentioned that the number of times we can visit them is limited, I think I'll save them for when I need supplies more. I just need supplies more. At the moment, there is not much of... Oh, I suppose I could get the port report. At the moment, there's not much of a reason to talk to them. Our supplies are doing well. Our hunger's not high at all. Could get the attention of one of the gods of the Z, but I don't believe that's worthwhile. So we'll just grab the port report here. And it seems like they're not receiving visitors anyway, so that's okay. And we'll head back out to Z. Dust echoes, even a sepia tint to the air. These are the waters around the tomb colonies. Ooh, is this somebody unfriendly? You see us? Yes, let's charge that up. We'll keep rotating here. And lights on. Fire. How dare you piracy? And by piracy, I mean kind of just look at. Well, we'll take our items. Ah, some more fuel. Lovely. Coke, like coal, but more so, as the Department of Infernal Rarefactions would have it. Okay. We've got our something awaits us back. Alrighty. We'll hit the lights off since we're already so close to shore. Tomb colony of Venderbite. Oh, someone trying to get your attention. One of the tomb colonists takes an obvious interest in your crew, specifically the clattery heir. Interesting. So let's talk to him, I suppose. I have no reason to believe he'll be there if we leave and come back. Voiceless, the tomb colonist draws you a little way away from the clattery air. Don't tell her you met me, he says in a hoarse rasp. Her mother cut my voice. Hope to fix it so I wouldn't be able to look for my daughter, so I wouldn't want to. He wheezes, didn't work. Operation's never completely effective. Need to know my daughters well, happy, finding enough patience, getting enough to eat and so forth. In exchange for the simplest news, he explains himself. I'm her father, he says, ordinary engineer. Not the sort of parent she would want. If you wish to tell the heir about this encounter, you can do so by speaking with her. Curious. We know that she's looking for her father. Shoot, do we remember? Do we have it here? Suppose not. We could talk to her about it, though. I know from that previous playthrough that the clattery heir believes that her father is iron, as in from the Iron and Misery Company. Evidently, her father had his voice surgically removed by her mother, though. And apparently he's just an ordinary engineer, and he feels bad. He just wanted to know that she's safe. How dubious. I never told her about him in my first playthrough when I did encounter him. But that in my first playthrough, I didn't know that she had thought her father was iron either. I don't think I'll tell her right away. I think I'll wait for her to claim, for us to have the encounter where she can claim that her father is iron. So at this point, let's offload our casks here for a small profit. Could give up some of our memories of a distant shore. I think I'll keep 2. I might give up 1. And naturally, we're not going to try to purchase any fuel or supplies here. Could explore. No, let's talk to the first curator. I really hope there's not a limited amount of encounters we can have with him. Because I really don't want to find him dead when I'm like halfway through his quest. Assuming I ever get halfway. But we'll see. I just want to check that the current... Shoot, I shouldn't have sold the mushroom wine as well. Dang. I keep forgetting to do this. Okay. Visit the first curator. Z captains, the first curator gives an audience. The first curator is responsible for the preservation of the tomb colonies. It has been here much longer than London, like all the oldest tomb colonists, but even tomb colonists dissolve in time. Its time is close. No more light. You see who is steward. Okay. Everything is just about standard here. Reaches up to clasp your hand. I am grateful. You don't know what you've done to me. Cellar did the growth beneath my flesh, spared me the sanatorium. Here's my dissolution. So this is once we get everything, once we find all the colors. How do we ask him about certain items? It's about the Grand Sanatorium. Right, this is just the place where they depart to. Okay, let's just leave the curator. So how do we check with him that this is none of the colors? Gaussian, blue of memory, and brightest coral. Cosmogon, color of remembered suns. Which is all fungal stuff. Gant, which is where shadows are. Irigo, which no one remembers, which I think is the Iron Republic. Maybe not. Since memories are kind of fluid there, considering we wrote a port report that was completely blank. How fares thee? We fare pretty well. We've been doing pretty well. We found the salt lions real close by to Fallen London. We've dealt with the inhabitants of Pigmote Island, where we sided with the rats once again, and we had a little bit more bloody of an interaction, considering we were iron and not veils in this playthrough. We kind of shelled the guinea pigs into submission, not necessarily out of intention. And yeah, so far we're trying to show all of the stuff we have to the curator, but it doesn't look like we had what was necessary to do that. So I think we'll just spend our something awaits us here for what we can. We'll grab the port report as well. And I suppose we will explore here. Here they favor candlelight over gaslight. Shadows are swagged like cobwebs. The tomb colonists stand still enough to be mistaken for sculpture until they laugh or cough. One building in 3 seems abandoned. Ah, here we go. So, a serpent image. Here, Zailor shouts, there's something nestled in the mossy crook of a gray-leafed tree. The wooden serpent lacquered with red, black, and yellow. Its eyes are garnet flakes. That'd fetch a good price at the bazaar, the Zailor observes, but it has a cursey look, points out another. So, we don't have the genial magician. Evidently, he would need it. We could take it and... Well, first we could leave it, but I don't really want to do that. We could take it and try to allay their fears with our pages, which is a decent amount. 3 out of 5 chance to do that. Or take it and spend 50 echo to reward the Zailor. I think not. Well, let's give it a shot. Perhaps you can think of some way to allay their fears. An Ophidian gaze. You've no idea what the thing is, but you put it on the shelf next to your antique sextant. But the ruddy glitter of its eyes gives you the creeps. Eventually you leave a hat on top so you don't have to look at it. Meanwhile, 2 sailors complain they're dreaming of hungry jungles. Well, we've picked up another outlandish artifact. That makes 2, though. Sweet. And I think that is all that we have there to do. Let's keep heading north here. I got a collection of Z-bats. Are we gonna... okay. Oh, what? Hold on. Hold on a moment. I have my gun out. I've got my thing up and everything. What? Okay. Evidently this is a bit glitched. So we'll turn that off and burn some steam here. Wow, what the heck? I can't... Oh, hit tab bat swarms. Okay. Thank you very much. You. I dislike you. You're going down. Geez, so they took off a good chunk of our health. What on earth were we targeting then? How strange. Well, I think we will... Our terror is not terribly high. It's a glitch? Ah, okay. Our terror isn't terribly high, so we're just going to toss them into the pot. Oh, which rewards us with some new supplies. The little bones are troublesome, but the flesh is gamey, but salt them well enough, and they're quite edible. Edible. Yes, I believe somebody said that there was no difference whilst sailing in a fog to have your light on or off. Boreal reach is the snow. Touch it, and it puffs to vapor. Your crew huddles close to the warmth of the pipe and funnel. Ah, we found Censor's Arch. This should be Wither up here on our left. Just hit tab while speeding around to lock targets that you cannot see yet. Fantastic. I'll have to keep that one in mind. Alright, we've got Wither here. Let's go dock ourselves up here. Wither, behind the great arch over the bay, the pale wastes stretch, white and silent as the face of the moon. From here, you might almost imagine they were snow. North of the city, the salt pools fizz with unlikely color. We can explore the town, pick up the port report, I believe. And we could do shore leave and Wither. I don't think that would be a good idea, though, considering it's a challenge. So let's get the port report here. The citizens of Wither enjoy questions, so much so that they always answer a question with another question. This can make intelligence gathering frustrating. Are you asking for any particular reason? At what time of day? Is that your hat? Might it be 6? It could be 6. Eventually you cobble together enough implication and supposition to compose a report. I really want to figure out how to get Wither and Codex linked. Because they seem like two places that are definitely linked. But as of yet, I haven't figured out a way to do that. Okay, and here are extraordinary implications. Figurehead of the Eater of Names and Starshell. Neither of which I don't think we've ever seen. So that will just be something that we deal with at a later date. Don't have enough Z stories to buy anything more than fuel. So let's explore the town, I think, and then we'll head out over to Codex. Wither is a quiet, chilly town of gray stone and closed courtyards. The people are neither exactly unfriendly nor exactly hospitable. Irritating habit of answering a question with a question here and there are odd sights tucked away. The wind speaks. You fall into a reverie as you wander the shore. There are words in the wind, a story of sorts, of a gate in the north. A pale light that began there, of a drowned light that will end there, of a high wilderness that other ships may sail. You lift your eyes. On the wall of the saltworks, someone has scrawled, "Is there a sea more sunless?" We've now got Storm's attention. Okay, so a gate in the north. We went north before. We just kind of disappeared. And ended up in Frostfoundland? Something like that. But this suggests that there is something up there, which I believe somebody else said in a previous stream. There's actually a correct way to go up north and end up somewhere. So I'll have to find that gate. Pale light that began there. Perhaps that's one of the colors? Remembered suns. Color of the deepest Z. Beyond the gate, there is a sea more sunless. Yeah, so that must be Pelican. That must. Oh, well, I guess I guess I exited out of it by changing tabs. But that must be related to Pelican then. I'll have to do that once I have the ability. Alrighty. Well, let's head over to Codex, which I think should be directly across from us. Yeah, is this it? I think this might be it. And then we'll head back down to Fallen London with our port reports. Who's at us? Oh, it's the Lifeberg. No, you I do not want to deal with. The crawling stars. The lookout shouts. Far above, the false stars in the cavern roof are shifting, a rare and ominous vent. Well, let's go take a look. We've got a 50-50 chance. Record the change and assign a name. If the new shape is well omened, your crew may be cheered. Who knows? The Z-Bat. Bats is lucky. A gap-toothed stoker vers. All agree. Leathery, but lucky. Hey, we lost some terror for it. I'm surprised we didn't get any fragments from that, but guess not. Looks like our Lifeberg has lost our notice, or rather, we've lost Lifeberg's notice. We've arrived at Codex. Everything here, pretty standard, just the fuel and supply prices. And Codex. Always explore the town can get a really good stat boost if you try something mysterious. Oh, in Wither? Okay. I'll have to check that out then. There's not too many other options I could do with it anyway, so I think that's a good idea. But Codex, a desperate cave full of mute exiles and an inexplicable colony of shivering, bad-tempered monkeys. Curious. So there's something from the Submarine. Submariner? Submarine. I think it's Submariner expansion, the DLC. But we don't have that submarine yet. But we do know where to get it now. We need to go to Port Carnelian. We don't have a Searing Enigma to get a doomed monster hunter here. So I think we'll just grab the port report. No one will speak. This is a challenge. Silently forthright. The exiles see many come, fewer leave. Some are even unwilling to communicate, but their gestures are unfamiliar, the meanings unclear. Even when you can understand, these are answers without questions, as useless as a key without a lock. Boy, do I wish I could get you guys over with Wither. But I assume... I feel as though that'll be something that we check later. That we can... Perhaps we can carry somebody across or something like that. Submariner? Yeah, that's the one. These rocks are very dark. You like that for any particular reason? I am headed back to Fallen London now. Enter the Stormbones. St. Elegius sends his fire to dance in the air on deck. Very far away we see the great light of the Ragged Crow. The Chong Yi Rift? Okay. Our hull is rather low. We'll have to keep that in mind as we adventure around this area. I think we will get... When we get back to Fallen London, we will try to fix up our ship. Discovered Pure Wall Point and Demuse Gate. What's this to our west? Looks like another... I know, we've already discovered that abyss. So I do want to... I discovered Moody's Light. Do want to keep looking for new items here. There we go. Let's charge ourselves on this crab, keeping him just in range. Flip on our lights, blow them up. And we'll go grab whatever we've gotten from it. Which... Yeah, sure, we'll pick it up from some knowledge, some fragments here. Let's see. Yeah, Still got a ways to go to head south to Fallen London. So we might as well continue adventuring outside our immediate area. Ooh, a ship down here. It is sailing away from us. How big is it? That's about our size. Ooh, and that's definitely something we can take down as well. I do want to charge our guns, though, hopefully before it sees us. There we go. Oh. Well. Okay. We did it in. Let's see what you've got on ya. I guess we're kind of piratey ourselves, this one. This, captain. Some more fuel, sweet. Have we found this area yet? I don't think we have. The Phosgene Bleaks. Interesting. Looks like some sort of volcanic area. I can't remember if we've discovered this before. How many echoes do we have? Not enough to hit up the salt lines, though we are very close to them. So let's start heading over to London. Yeah, we're just a wee bit north of them, but we can start heading west at least. Ooh. That's a larger ship, one that I'm not interested in battling at the moment. Ooh, has he seen us? He has indeed. Is he coming after us? Yes, he is. Oh, and he hits like a truck. All right. Let's boost on right out of there. Okay. We hit a fog bank too, so we should be safe. Okay, let's go dock up at the Hunter's Keep, I suppose, to keep ourselves out of combat. And the sisters are back. How lovely. Okay. Believe Phoebe is Storm. Yeah, I think she's Storm. Lucy is... Or is she Salt? Blast, I can't remember who everybody is. Either way, I think I still want to talk to him. Last time we dined with Lucy. This time, we will talk with Phoebe. Phoebe has a story to tell of two lovers parted by water, of a raven that carried messages, of a fragment of the moon. She beats time on the table as she speaks, as if to a song only she can hear. The effect is hypnotic. Your attention drifts out through the skylight of the dining room to the false stars glittering in the roof of the cavern. You drift like a puffball spore. Oh, maybe we did talk to Phoebe last time. Oops. The Untersee shimmers below. Islands lie like mineral specimens on black velvet. Ships bob like wood ships between the islands. Vast spine things pulse in the depths. There is a scent like the scent before a storm. Storm came, says Phoebe quietly. Everything changed. Somewhere in there, you finished the last course. Scowling maid reluctantly served cheese and Bath Oliver biscuits. Supplies, hunger gone, terror down, fragment, storm's attention. Man, that's a lovely trade. All right, next time we know not to talk to Phoebe because we've already talked to her, and we've still got Storm's attention. We haven't done anything with that. We had Salt's attention lost. And I don't think we've ever picked up Stone's attention yet. So we'll have to keep all of that in mind when we next visit Hunter's Keep. Okay, let's turn off our lights here, since we are so close to shore and home anyway. Scooch around that. There we go. we've got the bats doing their things. Okay, hopefully, I think if I trade the Admiralty's favor, or Admiral's favor, Admiralty, one of the two, Admiral's favor, oh, and we'll double check down here first, because somebody did mention there was something south of Fallen London here. But we'll trade Admiralty's favor for repairs to our ship. Oh, look at that. Discovered the Department of Menace Eradication and the Echo Bazaar. So they're our actual location. And Bugsby's Marshes. Interesting. I think this is an actual bridge. I think if we run into that, we'll hit it. Which is not something I want to do with our ship's current condition. So we will just head over here. Lovely. We returned to home. Terror is still in adequate areas. Ah, the Merchant Venturer. That's who we were missing before. Finally, we've encountered him. Ah, here we go. Okay. Good evening, sir. What a marvelous evening it is, if you don't mind my saying so. Given it is my impression that you are an obliging sort, I imagine you will not mind at all. Since you are so very obliging, perhaps you wouldn't mind making a little detour via Mount Palmerston with a few articles of cargo if you happen to be in the area. The cheery man will of course cover your expenses for this trifling inconvenience. I do believe our first captain asked this. And since we don't know where Mount Palmerston is yet, I think we will also take this option. If only to free up the single unit of space in our hold here. I see that you are hesitant. Perhaps you find Mount Palmerston unbearable, and who could blame you? Well, if you have the vinegar, there is another matter which you might be able to assist me with. Yes, I think you would be very suitable for this task. Very suitable indeed. You know, sir, I must say, of all the Z captains I've met lately, it seems to me that you have a knack for sensitive matters, and that you might be able to help my patron. He's an introspective gentleman and has been reflecting on his life. And lately he has come to regret things from years past and should like to set them right. But to do so, he needs that mistake brought home to London. So it looks like we're collecting somebody. A woman, it seems, except he'd like her returned with every tooth in her, still in her head if you could. He would be certain to award you with dispensations as generous as your own self for doing him such a kindness. I think that it will do. Yes, it will take it. Hopefully it's not something nasty. Hopefully. All right, preparing a reunion. Kindly thanking you, sir. We would like you to retrieve someone who has long been a sore spot in my patron's heart. They called her the last constable round here before she fled London. We've had reports of her investigating scoundrels at the Iron and Misery, spying on pirates in Guider's Mourn, keeping the peace in Khan's heart, and watching the dead in Venderbite. She gets around, a real hard worker, that one. It's in her blood. And again, don't let her come to harm. If you can help it, at least. We're understanding. Okay. So I guess we've just got to check out all of these locations. Venderbite we've seen. I think Guider's Mourn and Demuse Island shouldn't be too far. I think they're in the area of the sea that actually changes, though. As for Khan's Heart, I don't think we've ever seen it. I really hope he's not trying to murder her. I would feel kind of bad if that were the case. But he did request that we treat her kindly, not to injure her in any way. So hopefully he doesn't mean her any harm. Let's go talk to the Merchant Venturer. An urchin tugs your sleeve. Governor wants a word. A brooding figure waits at the lamplight's edge. Speak to the Merchant Venturer. I have need of a reliable agent, failing that an inventive one. Here are my requirements. Excellent. He has very specific needs, but he'll pay much better than market rates, and he won't ask how you came by these things. So, let's check this out here. He's looking for 21 bolts of spider silk. The gist of what he asked was, alive if you can help it. Oh, I see. He's sponsored us with quite a bit. We'll talk to the detective, I think. We'll talk to her and hopefully we can figure out a situation in which none of us are murdered. The blind bruiser? I'm unsure as to what you're asking here. But no, we'll talk to the last detective. We'll see. We'll see. We still have many places to search for her, so we'll have plenty of time to determine what we're going to do. So let's see. We need 21 bolts of spider silk for the venturer. Either that or... So... Where should venture? Venture spelled with a U. Okay, so he wants either Savior's Rocks or the Connate. That's where we'll pick up the 21 bolts of spider silk. I'm on audio only, so I'm making inferences based on my own experience and context clues. Yeah, that was from the blind bruiser. Last time we talked to him for that option, he actually requested that we heal his patron or something like that. There was some sort of injury going on. But I guess this time is not the case. Then alternatively for this, which will probably be the more realistic way of getting this area out of the way, we can go to Mount Palmerston. Or No, it is Palmerston. Okay, not Palmerston. For... Oh, Savior's Rock is in the east. And Connate is in the central. Mount Palmerston, still in the north. For 7 zoop. I'm sure he has no ill will. The suspicion surrounding you due to association is probably unwarranted. Yeah, it's probably fine. Maybe. He does seem... Just his character seems suspect. And it seemed like his employer wanted to make amends. And I don't think you make amends by murdering somebody. Focus on finishing the Venturer's quest. I agree. That'll be a very nice quest to finish. But first we'll have to find Mount Palmerston or Savior's Rock, which is in the east, and the Connate, which is in the central map. Neither of which are locations we've been to close by. We can get a tattoo. How much will that cost us, though? Only 1 echo. Oh, okay, that's actually pretty good. could direct you to Palmerston. Well, I do know approximately the area where Palmerston is. I just don't know if it is one of the locations that moves regularly, because I know that a lot of locations are not the same between playthroughs. We've been there before in a previous captain. Visit to Clathermont's tattoo parlor. You're a real zailor now, after all. You could go to one of those tobacco and prey places by the docks, but the prices at Clathermont's are reasonable, and his daughter's a real artist. What sign will you choose? We have gotten... actually, we have every single option. That's neat. I think upgrading our veils is probably a good idea, because everything else we have up. But veils we don't have much of, and I've been seeing a lot of options, or a lot of skill checks that use veils. So I think I will grab 2 veils to do that. It's always on the northern edge of the map. There are certain regions that are always in the same spots. Okay, then yeah, if it's in the northern edge, that's what I knew. That's what I assumed. So that'll be something to search for. But hopefully we'll be able to start running Saltline Sphinx Stone in just a second here. Let's get our Wheel of Mists tattooed on to increase our veils and cure up some terror here. The gold needle pricks. Lily Clathermont hums. The design is complete. A ship's wheel, but with a curious elaboration to the design, like an optical illusion. We are not the messenger, but the message, Lily intones. You frown, she dimples. Oh, all right. That's just something Mr. C says to sound impressive. I don't know what it means, but I like the design. Oh, nice. Okay, well, it used up a Z story and a bit of echo, but we got 2 veils permanently, and we've lost 25 terror, which is great. Okay, let's go talk to the Admiral here and submit our port reports. There they are. Hunter's Keep, everything is still going well. Thank you for the fuel. Vendor Bite. Yep, nothing too much. Wither. I refuse to ask any questions. I don't want to give them the satisfaction. Yep. 20 echo for that. Nice and plentiful. And Codex. Exiled for giving answers. That's Wither for you. Anything new? Oh, so they're actually exiled there. Interesting. I don't think I'd ever caught... Maybe I've caught that before and completely forgotten about it. I will say that as of what I remember, I don't remember catching that before. I do remember that I knew they were connected, but I thought that was all through inference. Okay, and then I think everything else here, he's got nothing too interesting. I could give him my moves in the Great Game for some profit here. See if he needs anything here. Yeah, just the general port report sort of thing. Okay. Well, let's head to dry dock and get ourselves repaired here. We don't need fuel. I do believe we have... Yeah, we've got 9 fuel now. Oops, I've exited out of the dry dock. I want repairs, though. The Admiralty yards. Yeah, that'll only cost us 25 echo. And 3 favors, but we have an excess of favors right now. And I want this... I want our ship topped up. You may call in some of your Admiralty favors to have cheap, good quality work done on your ship. Rapid efficiency. All shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. Very quickly. Excellent. Everything is fully restored, though we are 2 echoes short of having enough to purchase a shipment of the salt line stuff. I'm working on a guide for this game since there are many mechanics that are not obvious, despite having a huge influence over a run. That's excellent, actually. That sounds great. If you want visibility, I would suggest making just a quick video guide, because I know that's where I've gotten a lot of my sort of not experience. Exposure to this game. It was just through seeing it in random places among the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, once you get that all together, definitely throw it up. I will be happy to look through. Okay. Anything else we need to do? We've got a new recruit. Is it a new officer? I don't need any more random zailors. Is the Roser's Wharf? Still nothing because no days have passed. Let's go check out our recruits. An officer, the Presbyteriate Adventurous. Looking for a gunnery officer? Afternoon, sir. Looking for a gunnery officer. I'd like to help you blow up some monsters if you'll have me. Gunnery officer who increases iron and veils. Costs 50 echoes. We have a gunnery officer whose increases are just related to iron. I did just mention that I am feeling the lack of veils rather significantly. Perhaps I'll pick her up just to have her. I want to experience all the, the story officer's stories, as much as I can at least. So I'll pick her up. I'll sell off one of our scintillic so that we can hit that 200 echo amount. And then I think we'll head out to Pigmoat Isle. All right, welcome aboard. Oh, hello, Captain. Is this one of yours? I had to knock her about a bit. She didn't like taking orders from foreigners. Still, we're good friends now. The adventuress claps the black-eyed sailor on the back. Oddly enough, they do seem to be friends now. Okay. Let's sell off our excess here. Single scintillic. I think doing with 2 instead of 3 will still be fine. I think I will pick up some more supplies as well. Ah, blast, that brings us under the echo amount. Maybe, well, let's check the economy. Can I make a little bit on the way to Pigmoat Isle? So, could go to the Iron Republic. They purchase supplies for a premium here. They also purchase Zoop at a premium. But I do know that they have like a rotating market, I think, because I've definitely seen some places that haven't had the same purchases and sales as others. So I'm wondering if that's a safe option. What is your time another day in the Iron Republic? I have no clue. Let's see. Another day. Iron Republic days 5, evidently. I'm not sure what this changes. Is that maybe that's how the market rotates there? Dang, I should have checked more carefully how my echoes were doing. Should be House of Milks. Okay, I've never encountered that one. I have no idea what the sales are there. Let's see. I could do a quick run down to the Iron Republic and I think it's wine and honey sold for profit and cheap supplies. I don't know entirely. Okay. In that case, public shops are tough because there are 4. Ah, that's good to know. Okay, I wasn't sure how many there are. I thought that there was a difference when I'd gone through there, but no, never mind. Uh-oh. I was about to say I was going to take you on your word and just go for a full sale down there. House of Harvest is cheap supplies. Okay. Still good on the mushroom vine. Okay. We only need 2 echoes profit here. Or I suppose we need some more. Because we'll need to buy the fuel to get back up. Shoot. Can I sell anything else here that we do not need? Oh, of course I can. We can sell one of our outlandish artifacts here to the scholar. Or even the Z stories or the memories of distant shores. Want me to double check? No, that's okay. Since I'll be doing just selling something to the scholar here, I think I'll be all good. Actually, one thing that I do want to check, memory of distant shores. Can I turn you into anything now that I have multiples of you? Does not look like it. So, let us sell her a memory of distant shores. Only 10 echo, but that's enough to put us over the top in terms of getting us to the salt lines and getting us to accept their option there. And that'll give us some decent profits as well. A memory of distant shores, a piquant piece of picaresque pilgrimage. Wells of emotion. As the alarming scholar listens, tears well in the depths of those shining, or is it blazing, eyes. They overflow, splashing onto the desk blotter. Stop, he or she sobs, at last. This is too beautiful. Allow me to bring the macaw of memories I wish each individual tone recalled. Okay. Let's get us over to the salt lines, straight across. We could head south to check on Pigmote Isle. Yeah, let's do that. We've got enough supplies and we've got enough fuel to get everywhere, to get over there and out a little bit. So let's do it. We've got our lighthouse. It's actually keeping up with us right now. We're being tracked quite well. First thing I want to do is take care of the salt lions pickup. Because that for now we can definitely turn a profit for. Yep, we're at the salt lions. We've got something awaits us. We need to actually head a little north. Yeah, there they are. Okay, we have docked. Salt lions are here. We've got the Echo to get the Sphinx Stone aboard. Oh, that's right, our gunnery officer. 6 iron and 3 veils. Perhaps she's afraid of being forgotten. She isn't afraid of much else. Or we can take just the Irrepressible Cannoneer. Cheery enthusiasm is a welcome but unnerving trait in a gunner. Can we learn anything about him? No, that's right. He wanted the torpedo components to talk to him. What does our gunnery officer wish to talk about? Just supplies and some coffee. That will be easy enough to talk to her about, and I think I'll actually change her over as well. So let's go grab that Sphinx stone. Well, we'll compile the port report. We'll grab the Sphinx stone. We'll need a deposit and 20 units of spare cargo, which we do. The unmakers are here to reduce the salt lines to rubble 1 block at a time. Help them in their work by carrying the rubble back to London. You will need a deposit and 20 units of spare cargo space. If the stones weep, an unmaker advises you, ignore them. Unless they flood your hold, of course. Then you should probably drop them overboard. Don't tell anyone I said that. All right. So, last but not least, let's visit the unmakers with our something awaits us here. Muscular pick wielders rest on camp stools, watching you approach, passing hip flasks around. An unctuous overseer beckons you to sit. Fungal tisane and tea cakes. We get funding from the bazaar, it's true, but Station 4, I wouldn't call us Station 4. It's a little grandiose. The stones are stuffed with secrets, but most of them are used as garden statuary or occult ballast. Most of them. Some go down to the places under the bazaar. More tea cakes. Under the bazaar. Oh, ooh. I wonder if that is talking about something in the submariner bits. I wonder if there is a black market of sorts down there. Literally. If not, you know, no biggie. It's just a figure of speech, but boy, would that be great to find out. We'll just cart this straight back. I think we'll go straight back a couple times, just straight back and forth. And on one of our ladder runs, we'll head down to the Iron Republic, across to Pigmoat Isle, and then up to the Salt Lions. Just to double check that everybody's having fun over on Pigmoat Isle. I want to see what they've become. Okay, we've docked back. We have rather docked back. Nothing has changed so far. Well, something has changed underneath, but nothing else of interest has changed. Somebody new wants to sign on. Let's go to London and drop off our Sphinx Stone. Special constables, black uniforms, distinctive caps with the badge of the Ministry of Public Decency. Wait with a cart. Sign, sign, sign. Here's a receipt. Here's a discretion contract. Here's a penalty contract. Your vision is blurred by the end of it. The cart rumbles off into the coiling fog. And our reward is a lovely 500 echo, as well as some terror lost, which is a fantastic return on investment there. That's a 150% increase than what we paid for it, which is just great. Let's see our new recruit. A sigil-ridden navigator. First officer who increases mirrors and veils. He will cost 50 echo. We now have echo to spare, at least. You know what? I'm just going to collect as many officers as I can. It doesn't take up crew space. It lets me talk to them and find out their quest lines and stories and whatnot. Let's do it. Let me guide your ship. I know all the Z, how it was, how it will be. Please, the headaches only stop when I'm working. Welcome aboard. Thank you. Ah, my God, the air. It's clear already. Let me chart a course for you. Ah, my head. Okay. Well. Hold on a moment. Ah, there he is. Mirrors and veils. And our current first officer gives mirrors and pages. I think veils is the more important stat there. So I'll put the first officer in. The gunnery officer wants some dark drop coffee beans to talk. Let's see how much they are. See if we can get her to open up to us. 50 echoes here. Are they cheaper elsewhere? Let's take a look. They are 38 in Port Carnelian. So maybe we could go down there when we check the Iron Republic out. Go past the Iron Republic and then to the Pigmote Isle. We can stop by Port Carnelian, which isn't far out of the way. Isn't too far out of the way, rather. But I don't think I will pick it up here. We will go and give our... Hold on a moment. Where's the Admiralty? There it is. Go and give our port report to the Salt Lions to him. Which, it's not been very long since I gave my last report on the Salt Lions to him. Still, free echo. Might as well. We don't have anything awaiting us since we used our something awaits us on the officer. Okay. Sweet. I think we will do one more run to the Salt Lines back and forth from, and then we will end the stream. It is a little over time already for me to... Actually, it's almost a quarter of an hour over time for when I typically end the stream. So after we get back from the Salt Lines, hopefully nothing will happen on this very rote run to there. After that, I will end the stream, and we will pick this up on Thursday at 3 PST. Typically, I stream Mondays through Fridays, 3 to 6 PST. But on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I play a Minecraft mod called Sevtech Ages, which is sort of based on long-term progression from Stone Age, caveman-style technology, all the way to postmodern space age stuff. So if you have any interest in watching that happen, then I'd welcome you to check in tomorrow. And if not, if you're only interested in the Sunless Sea stuff, then that will be coming back on Thursday at 3. And we'll keep going with Sir Madam Helgan. And so far they've been pretty... Like, nothing too terrible has happened. We lost a bit of health to some Z-Bats, but we didn't really encounter anything terrible. We haven't lost any crew. Even I'd kind of like to lose some crew, frankly, at this point. But we haven't. So we have been doing well off in terms of that. Alright, that's our pickup from the Salt Lions. I've heard of Sevtech but never played. Yeah, I enjoy it. The whole reason I started streaming was actually because I'd keep getting into Sevtech a fair amount, you know, just a decent bit. And then I'd inevitably kind of give up on doing it properly and just, you know, cheat my way to getting everything. And that just made the whole experience unenjoyable. It's really the struggle of getting everything that makes it so rewarding. And so the reason that I started streaming was sort of just to document that and as well as to keep it honest. And then I found Sunless Sea, and I started playing that, and I had a good time with it. I'm sure eventually I'll move on to some other stuff. Subtech is kind of designed to be extremely long form, and honestly, I kind of pine to play it during the times that it's not my stream schedule. I really pine to play it, but I just can't because I want to do everything on stream. So that'll probably be a long-term, not commitment, pursuit. I think. But Sunless Sea, I'm having a good time with it. I feel like I'm getting a little stuck in the early game. So hopefully when I get a little further out, I'll be more invested. I am very invested now that I'm sort of figuring out the way to do things. Now that I'm figuring out how to stay alive, how to find more of where the adventure is, to go down the paths that have more quests and give a little bit more lore about the world. I'm much more entertained by Sunless Sea in that way. Okay, let's go turn in that Sphinx stone. Lovely, some more profit there. We'll check our recruits. Ah, lovely doctor here. Another 50 echo. Sure, I'll pick up the officer, the brisk campaigner. Hoy you need a real physician, none of your surgeons. Welcome aboard. Don't you have anywhere cleaner? Well, if I must do it myself, where can I find a mop? And who will give me some... Let's see. Oh, no, she will give me some hearts and iron. Okay, interesting. I think... Oh, wow, she's actually... worse off than the Claderiere. Well, I have a new potential quest line. I would love to get a large community to run the mod pack Blightfall. I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to take a look at that. That'd be an interesting time. All right, and it looks like the brisk campaigner requires Muter Salt in order to dine with her. All right. Well, now that we've gotten back here, I think we'll call that a good stream. I had a great time. Our captain's doing very well. Hasn't been a one stream captain like his sister. So I think we're good. I will be back on Thursday with more Sunless Sea, and tomorrow with that Subtech Ages if people want to hop in there. So thank you very much for joining the stream and following me through here. I will see you guys sometime, hopefully. Not tomorrow, then the day after, if not then. Elsewhere in the universe. All right. Cheers, everybody. I'm headed out.